Yes, yes, people. Oh, who's this? Who do I have here? This is the winning kangaroo. Every time we win, this kangaroo finds its way into my hands. How you doing? Happy Sunday. Oh, hello, Mr. Winning Kangaroo. What's that? He wanted me to tell everyone, how you doing? Happy Sunday. Welcome into episode number 62. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep this kangaroo here in my hands real close. I'm going to keep him real handy. Look at that. You know, that's for winners. So Jurgen Klopp, you can hold that. Liverpool fans, you can hold that. Everyone who's down on Tottenham Hotspur because we didn't look perfect, you can hold that too. You can hold the kangaroo. It's here for hugs. It's here for cuddles. So when I say hold that L, if you look at this kangaroo, there it is. There's the L for you. This kangaroo out here serving L's. Some people like it. Some people hate it. Some people love it. But either way, talk to me nicely because undefeated in the Premier League. Ange Postecoglou is that man. I've got the one and only Paul Beatty. It is some kind of, I'm saying, the kangaroo holiday in Australia. So we've got the beautiful Paul Beatty. I'm going to bring him out in just about 15 to 30 seconds. But I wanted to say, yeah, this is I'm gonna have to just hold on to this and share it with you all the entire stream because you only get this if you're a winner. And so Jurgen Klopp, you cannot hold the kangaroo, but you can hold the L. There you go. How are we all doing in the chat? Check in the poll. I see 26 votes. I see 18 likes. How are we living on a Sunday? But I'm not going to take too long because it's a celebratory Sunday. And I've got what a better guest to bring out with me than the one and only Paul Beatty from Hotspur Hippie. How are we doing, sir? Happy Monday, man. Actually, for you. Good morning.
Yeah, it's a public holiday here. And I saw your stream yesterday. I'm just enjoying some of those sweet Klopp tears too, man. They just, you know,
they kind of mix well with the coffee, don't they?
Beautiful.
He said, "I've never seen a worse officiated game," or he says, "I've never seen a more unfair game," or something to that effect. And you know, it's just I kind of sat there with flashing images of years gone by, and I say, "Ha, good sir," because you know, finally we got a piece of that pie. And there wasn't enough for Mr. Veneers.
By the way, October the 24th, I think it is National Kangaroo Day. I don't know what that means, but it is. So
it's close to my birthday too, so I like it a lot. Again, Paul, you can hold on to the kangaroo. This is for winners only.
Yeah,
you can hold on to it because you're a winner this weekend. I'm a winner. All of Tottenham Hotspur are winners this weekend. And honestly, I've been feeling like the vibes are trying to get down a little bit. And honestly, 3 points versus what I would say is who I chose to be title contenders. I would think that Liverpool are one of, I would say top two, but even if you want to debate with that, you could say top four. They are a top four quality in this league. We got 3 points against them. Some people would say that again. Yeah, exactly. Look at during the summer, Paul. If I had told you Arsenal away and then Liverpool at home, we're going to get 4 points out of that. You would have said, I don't care which way that shakes out. I like that because that's, you could argue, top three teams in the league right now, or what people projected anyway. So the vibes for me are immaculate as always. I hope.
Well, we got 0 points out of those fixtures last year, so I think we're doing all right.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about this, that, and the other. I do have a slew of topics I want to get into. And if we do have time, I have a cool shout-out Ensman. He showed me a nice little website to do player ratings. So we can pick our team of the match, so to speak. So you can choose, even if a Liverpool player you say may have performed better, you can pick. I mean, we probably won't, but... Yeah, Jota, I give him a 10 out of 10, baby. You know, it's interesting because when it comes to Diogo Jota, I have this saved from the last time we played them, and it always just is just something I like. I use it as a joke to say, hey, Liverpool, don't get too rowdy and rambunctious, because remember last time you really committed assault with a deadly weapon. Split Oliver Skip's forehead right open, gave him that old Harry Potter scar that he's got. But before we keep going and enjoying ourselves, because I definitely am enjoying myself. I had a few different working titles for the episode today, Paul. I had a few different working titles, and honestly, I landed on vibes from the day after, because at the end of the day, whether you're celebrating, whether you're not, whether you feel hard done by the referees, etc. I'm just going to say this off jump for anyone who's just wants to hear the first 10 minutes of this. Number one, both red cards were justified. Play cleaner if you don't want the referee to be making decisions. That's what I always say. Secondly, anyone banging their chest about the fact that we couldn't break down a nine-man Liverpool. I mean, what can you do when you have 5 people in the box and 3 people on the edge of the box?
But we did.
And we ended up with the substitutions that everyone didn't like as well. We subbed on Oliver Skipp and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and they were crucial in the build-up and to the own goal by Joel Matip, who, mind you, Joel Matip had a really good game. And this was someone that I said before in the pre-match pump-up on Weird Tottenham TV, I said, this is a hole we have to go exploit. Joe Gomez at the right back and Joel Matip as well, because I feel like you could get after this guy. And he was having an outstanding game up until the greatest moment of the match. What a strike it was. It was a great strike, in my opinion. You said,
are we not allowed to be happy? I don't know. It's weird. Like, I've been seeing bits and bobs, and you know, and I get the media just all going on about the referee. But we beat Liverpool 2-1, man. I'm happy. We're second in the league.
Yeah, the record books will forever say.
Destiny is our own hands, and like. Okay, if Spurs are not in a title race right now, who is? The teams below us in the table? What, they're in the title race and we're not? Come on.
Well, when it comes to title race, I don't want to get ahead of myself because I want to try and keep my expectations. Don't worry about it. Hey, and you know what I'm going to do? As soon as we start taking off, I'm grabbing your coattails, sir. I'm hanging on. Hey, I was with Paul. Go back and look at the tape. I was with Paul. That's what I'm going to say as I bang on my chest. But what I would say, Paul, is when it comes to in regards to titles, I don't think we're near deep enough at key positions that one injury to anyone in this 11, I think that it really changes. Maybe not anyone. The winger position, I feel like Kulusevski left a lot to be desired, but I would say starting from the top, Son, Madison, Basuma, Udogi, Van de Veen, Romero, Vicario, any injuries to them, and we look a lot different. So, I mean, let's not. I put him in the thumbnail for a reason, y'all. Let's not forget the double save. I was gonna do the double save photo, but I thought this one was better because it shows his passion. I thought he was absolutely immense. Although he was not the best keeper on the day, Alisson was absolutely class. Alisson, real quick, is the reason why we weren't up 6-5 on them because he was just saving left and right. There was James Maddison. Amazing little curling ball. The only goal I would think to see in FIFA. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of goals you score in FIFA, and Alisson really got to it in a world-class manner. That we saw world-class players out there, and this is what happens when you have world-class talent. Like Virgil van Dijk has been in the team of the year since for the last 4 years, something like that. So when we look at this team and when we say like, oh, you know, we only did this or we only did that, I feel like it's a little disingenuous to what actually happened because, you know, we can look at the subs and say, why did he bring on Skip? Well, honestly, in the moment, I felt like, damn it, why is he bringing on Skip? Why is he bringing on Højbjerg at these moments? But then, I mean, I'm not questioning it now. Because if you look at the play, like who was on Joel Matip's ass that led him to kicking the ball in his own net? That was Oliver Skipp. So like, how can I be really questioning the fact that in the build-up play, I felt like Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was also, he was involved heavily in the end of the game there. And look, I understand the sentiment of like, let's throw the kitchen sink at him, let's really go for it. But Liverpool was still creating chances with 9 men. They were creating chances with 10 men. It wasn't a let's go and throw the sink at. I think if we're looking and saying what Ange Postecoglou could have and should have done differently, I feel like it's like not really fair because what he did won us the game. And at the end of the match, that's all that he really cares about is that we play our brand of football and we win the match. That's what he wants to see. And we achieved that. And so how can we as Spurs fans not be excited and happy about that, Paul?
Absolutely. And, you know, all these ifs and buts. Well, if Liverpool didn't get the player sent off, if they got that goal, we still would have won. We were, you know, when Liverpool were coming at us, you know, playing football, we were getting chances as well. Like you say, Alisson kept them in the bloody game. So it doesn't matter what way. Doesn't matter what way you slice and dice it. We were worthy winners. I don't get it, man. I'm enjoying the way it's happened now. It keeps the heat off Tottenham. Everyone's talking about the refereeing. They're not talking about
Fair.
us. Just the
That's a good
same as
point.
Arsenal last week. You know, it was all about, Arsenal haven't got a centre forward. It wasn't like, well, Spurs are good. So let them keep doing that, man. I don't care. It's great.
This is, if you can see this, it says, United fans, you got lucky. Arsenal fans, we got lucky. Liverpool fans, we got robbed. Spurs fans, I don't really care. Splash it on me, baby. Let me be the villain. Tell me that we didn't deserve this. That's fine. Talk dirty to me, because at the end of the day, we're playing the manner of football in which we're playing, and we're getting results. Still undefeated in the Premier League. Talk to me nicely indeed. I mean, anyone who doesn't want to talk to me nicely, you will eventually. But again, this is a long season. I want to go back to what we just real quick before the title charge thing. I don't think we're a deep enough squad right now, but look at how good we are already with one window of Ange Postecoglou's influence. Give me 3 more windows of Ange Postecoglou, and I might be talking, Paul. I might be, the PR merchant for the title charge in about three windows, I would say, if things continue to progress in this manner. Like when like for instance, for you and the guy I know, Staffy TV, shout out Staffy TV. It's like you created a YouTube channel, and you just like boom, 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 you just keep stepping it up very quickly, and it was like you doing well. So like, all intents and purposes would lead you to believe that like that can continue if you keep doing what you're doing, right? That's like any business motto. And so if you look at it, I mean, again, I just see 3 points, Liverpool at the end of the season. I mean, real quick, I didn't want to interrupt you. I just wanted to say, like, sometimes you need a little bit of luck. But putting yourself in quality positions leads to luck sometimes falling in your favor. I mean, look at look at Buhu Saka. He kept creating chances after chances after chances, and eventually he got lucky. But he wouldn't have gotten lucky if he didn't keep continuing to create chance after chance after chance. That's what we're trying to do. And I think Kulusevski is the main thing that I was let down by. Outside of like just our general lack of being able to score. But again, like we said, Alisson was world class on the day.
Yeah. It's a weird old argument people are having about that offside, onside goal that was disallowed. Well, I'd say, roughly speaking, the consensus of football fans is people don't like VAR. Okay, well, VAR didn't affect that decision. The linesman's flag was waving in the breeze. The linesman said it was offside. So, VAR had nothing to do with it. I love it.
Was it, that's interesting you say that. Like, was it the guy? Could he not just keep up on the sideline? I always wonder about that, If he can't really keep up, are we running these refs through fitness tests? And look, it's created a discussion, Paul, about, I've heard people want to do a rematch. Liverpool apparently came out with an official statement regarding the Luis Diaz goal, which again, that is the one thing where I look back and I say that is an error. But you know how many times I look back on things that happened to us and I said that was an error and we did not benefit from it. But this time we fucking did. And how can I not be happy that finally the coin, it's like you every week go to these game shows and you're hoping you get picked out the crowd to participate and win. And you not only you got chosen out of the crowd, but then you went and won it too. And it was because someone else fucked up. It was because 2 of their dudes went and got red cards. It was because some other human, not related to Liverpool, not related to Spurs, made an error. But that doesn't matter to me, because at the end of the day, I just won the game show. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't understand the negativity around Spurs picking up 3 points. I understand the sentiment of like, let's not get too carried away. I do relate and I respond to that because of recent history. But then I speak with folks like you. I heard folks like Adrian earlier on. I think maybe it was time added on with Alan. Shout out Alan. And then folks like Kuva, who've seen glory, seen not glory, seen what I've seen, and now we're seeing what I'm seeing. and then you feel the way that I feel, but that just validates it more, because it's not just because of, you know, I've seen Pochettino, Jose, Nuno, Conte, Stellini, and now Ange Postecoglou. It's not because of that. It's like you guys are validating the existence that I am experiencing, right? It's like I feel this is a new vibe. We are looking different. We are looking like the Tottenham that we've always wanted to look like, or that I've hoped we would look like, and we're getting results. And it is early doors. It's 7 matches in, but we've played 3 out of the big 6 twice, or once. That's 3 matches, respectively. If you think about it, there's 12. We've played what is that, a fourth of the toughest, quote unquote, I'm putting air quotes, the toughest matches in the league, because the Premier League is the toughest league, and this, that, and the other. But I just think that from our standpoint, man, I'm enjoying the ride. It's a hell of a Ferris wheel, baby. And go ahead.
We got 7 points out of those 3 games. That's not bad. You know, I'm happy.
What was our results like last year against United? I don't remember.
We drew at home. Can't remember what the game was away, but on the home games, well, we drew last year. We drew against Man United. We lost against Liverpool. And we lost against Arsenal. So we got 1 point last year, and this year we got 7.
You know,
I
mean, come on, that sounds kind of nice. If you were saying this in the summer, I think everyone would be ecstatic, regardless of the manner in which we got through to the finish line, because the result's always going to say what the result was. And I think people petitioning, they want to replay it, etc. I think that sets a bad precedent personally. But I don't really give a shit, because I feel like Angel wouldn't mind either. Angel would be like, all right, cool. If they did want to rematch and it did come down to it, I feel like Ange Postecoglou would be like, I don't care, mate. Let's meet in the parking lot. You know, let's kick this fucking ball. Let's do a closed door rematch, and then we'll just report the final result. You know, type thing.
Tottenham 3, Liverpool 0.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I do apologize. I have not brought up anybody in the chat yet. I will get to the chat. Just want to say, it was just in case there's any, you know, Liverpool people who just didn't want to watch the whole show. They wanted to get like, how does Jacob actually feel? There was a show yesterday where I celebrated the win. There's a show today where I'm checking in with the vibes, letting you know what the vibes are like here. So that's just what it is. And again, it's okay to like what you saw. I'll put it that way. You don't have to feel like, I walked away feeling like I wanted to score more. I said yesterday I was disappointed. I wanted to score more goals. I wanted to be more lethal. But let's put the gravy on the mashed potatoes here. When 8 men are in and around that box defending, it's hard for a Man City to break down Wolves. Imagine, not a Wolves, Liverpool. 8 of their strongest defending type players on the pitch, just holding up, trying to hang on for the draw. And they created chances with that, mind you. Yeah. There was opportunities where Vicario was called upon and he had to come grab something out of the box or play the passes up and be that extensive option for the center backs to pass to. So they were still dangerous. Liverpool's a fantastic team. And I think that is, we're just looking at like, oh, well, you know, it's 2-1 against 9 men, and you know people are they're bantering on Twitter. I've seen all the things on Twitter, and I just don't understand. Like, at what point do we look at this as a Spurs fan or even a non-biased opinion and say, well, they really went in there, and they got the 3 points? I mean, look, 2 red cards, 1 was double yellow. Jota,
that's their fault,
bro. How is that Spurs' fault? I said that yesterday. How is that my fault that the refs said, hey, that's a bad challenge, here's a yellow, and then 2 minutes later you go down again and he says, hey, man, that was a bad challenge, and there you go, goodbye. That's your fault, my guy. That's your fault. You didn't want to run around for 45 minutes playing Ange Postecoglou ball. That's all I'm saying.
I might comment on the referees, but I don't. It's very rare, you know. They actually cost you a game. You know, it's part of the playing conditions of the game. Sometimes things don't go your way. You've still got 90 or 100 minutes to win the game, no matter what's thrown at you. So sometimes it goes against you, sometimes it goes for you. But you're talking about it defining how the game ends up and the result. It's very rare, I think, you know. And I think we would deserve it too. We were deserved winners, man. I don't
Well,
get it.
I just like it. It's whenever it suits them, and I started this tweet for this exact reason because it's just whenever it suits you, right? Let's look at last season what he said. Let's look at I messed it up, but behind what it says behind us, it says Jurgen Klopp told Ryan Mason to quote worry about other things when told that Mason complained about this result about the Oliver Skip getting a boot in the face. When Mason complained about that, Jurgen Klopp said, quote, worry about other things. And then now for us, what we saw, now he's saying, I never saw a more unfair game. My response to that is, worry about other things, my guy.
Don't
Why
worry
don't you
about
do
it,
that?
Jurgen. Just worry about the things you
Why don't you worry about the fact
control.
you're super sub, this guy that everyone gave all this respect to, myself included, and Diogo Jota coming off the bench and being a vital threat. Why don't you worry about that before you start worrying about the officiating? Because I mean, again, we all get done hard by the VAR. We all get done hard by a bad refereeing call. I have examples. People have been pulling out the receipts. People have been absolutely pulling out the receipts. Remember this one? Who remembers this offside ball when I think it was Steven Bergwijn? He headed it back to Harry Kane right here, and Harry Kane was ruled offside because of his arm. But look, I mean. No one wants to talk about that though, because it's little old Tottenham Hotspur. No one wants to talk about that. I promise you. Lucas Moore, by the way, he's still all the way Tottenham Hotspur. I just find it fun.
I think it's hilarious how you've got like Man United fans sticking up for Liverpool at the moment. It's weird. We're uniting everyone.
And Arsenal fans, they're all kissing. They're all kissing on the couch over there. It's a big slurp fest. Yeah, get a room. I was watching This Is Football with Hussam and Saad. Shout out Hussam and Saad. But it was like Saad, when he's an Arsenal fan, so of course he was like, "Oh, this, that, and the other about last week." And then now, whenever he gets with the Liverpool, "Oh, you guys were done wrong and you were done dirty and this, that, and the other." And honestly, that's why I made kissy kissy. I just think, for me, people are going to find out one way or another, and they're slowly finding out. It's just the result of it. And they're not enjoying it. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. These are uncomfortable conversations, and when people have to actually consider Tottenham Hotspur as a threat to them, there's an excuse. It's every time we play before the match, they're dancing a certain dance, and then after the match, they're dancing a different dance. And it's just like, where was this before? Why are you mad at me about the refereeing? Why weren't you mad at the referees for what they did to us week 1 versus Brentford? Let's talk about this season alone, because we can isolate incidents from years past. UCL final, Japhet Tanganga almost getting his leg snapped in half from Andy Robertson, I believe it was. Oliver Skip taking. Let's disregard all that for a second, okay? Let's put that all on the bloody shelf of inconsistencies in the refereeing, which we know are present. This year alone, VAR has fucked us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we've fought back, and it's not an excuse that you fall back on. But for loser mentality, for weak mentality, it's like, yeah, it's weak. It's like, even in those times when we got hard done.
We would have won if we didn't get the red cards and the VAR and the ref was better. We would. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. It would have been.
And I would have won the lottery if I picked the winning numbers. But guess what? I did not pick the winning numbers. Therefore, I did not win the damn lottery.
I think it's brilliant, man. It's brilliant.
Big up Moondog with the super chat. Says, I'm loving the Liverpool tears. Keep them coming. Big up Moondog. Honestly, that like Paul and I were talking, we just felt like, you know what? Let's enjoy this a little bit longer. I mean, the weekend ain't even over. We just beat Liverpool. We've never beaten them at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and we did yesterday. So let's celebrate that as well.
We ended their 19-game unbeaten.
Moondog, you get to hold the winning kangaroo as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We ended their 19-game unbeaten streak. Ange Postecoglou is now on 51 games at home without defeat. I thought we played well. I don't know. I don't get it, man. There's that saying, a win's a win. Well, like last year at the beginning, we were jagging and jamming results even when we were playing well. This year, we're getting results when we're playing well. I think it's brilliant. I'd love the last day of the season. I'd love us to win by those 2 points, win the Premier League, and also send Sheffield United back down to the Championship on the same day for their time wasting.
You're still mad about Sheffield United time wasting. Real quick, there's about 100 of y'all in the house. Go ahead and hit that like, participate in the poll. Tell me what you're feeling. How are you feeling the day after? Right now, 42% says looking forward already to Luton. What's up?
I just think it's hilarious. I'm seeing some of the comments, and it's like,
oh, I know. I want to say hello to the chat because part of the thing we do here on United Spurs is at least say hello to everybody. So I will be doing that very quickly. But participate in that poll and hit the likes while I get to your comments. Not just the super chat, but I just pulled up the super chat because I seen it come in. Big up Moon Dog. 80 votes. 53 likes. I appreciate y'all very much. Let's keep that ratio nice and tight. You know, after the match, Paul, there was like 300 votes in the poll, and there was like 80 likes. And I was like, damn, some Liverpool fans are really upset right now. So people they didn't want to grab free beer on the way into the party, but it's okay. However you feel, you're allowed to feel it. You don't have to like, you don't have to participate. I'm just encouraging you to do so. Makes me feel like I get a wide grasp, like a good sample size of how people feeling. 41% says looking forward already to Luton. 24% says basking in the sun of glory today. So the sun was shining nice and bright today. I took my son and my dog on a little bit of a walk, and my son hit a new milestone for his growth, and you know what? I loved it. So just nonstop good things, man. I can't help but feel too blessed to be stressed. 3 points versus Liverpool. My son's doing great. I'm too blessed, man. My wife, she's doing good outside of the nausea. She's doing good. Like, life's too good, man. That's why no matter how way I shake this, yes, Kulusevski disappointed me. Yes, I wish we scored more goals. Yes, I wish that they had all their 11 men to play us man-to-man so we could see who's got the bigger cojones. And it's unfortunate that they were too afraid of that fight, that they had to be aggressively reckless. Imagine, real quick, before I say hello to the chat, this is something else that was really pissing me off. And I'm getting... let me drink some water real quick before I get off bed.
Get some top tears into you for lubrication.
What do you think's in here?
Yeah, it helps the victory go down.
Something else that's really been pissing me off. Everyone talking about this and that about Jota's challenges. This yellow was soft and that yellow was soft. Anyone who says that today or yesterday, what I want to say to you is, if that was Christian Romero, you'd all be in my fucking chat giving me shit, telling me how much of a bozo he is. Look what he did for his Arsenal. And then he came on and he did 2 quick yellows in the second half. You be in my... I don't want to hear it. If it was Christian Romero, what would the narrative be? It wouldn't be, oh, it was soft. Oh, it was this. It'd be, he's a bozo. This is Spurs vice captain, and everyone be making fun of him. But it wasn't Christian Romero. It's Diogo Jota. So now it's all, oh, it was too mean. Oh, that was too harsh. Bro, play cleaner. You don't want the ref to make that decision? Fucking play football. Don't play dirt ball. All right? So let's have it right. I just think it's a little ridiculous because, again, the narrative would be so fucking different if it was Christian Romero who done that, if it was Mickey Van de Ven, if it was Udogie who done, if it was any one of our players who had done what Diogo Jota done, who had done what Curtis Jones had done, it would be a fucking different narrative, regardless of the Luis Diaz offside, which everyone in the world has acknowledged they fucked up there. But outside of that, it's Liverpool's responsibility to take control of that game. I say it for Spurs when... I'm getting hyped up, so now I'm coughing. I said it for Spurs when we lose points because of the ref, or we get points. Like, it's your responsibility before and after that to impact the match. And do the best that you can to keep them from making those fucking decisions.
You know, and if you're going to go into a challenge, make sure you've got enough skill that your foot didn't slip over the top of the football like a muppet and nearly break Basuma's legs.
He could have been out for the season with a fucking tackle like that. Oh, but they would talk about the freeze frame when you see his leg bend like this. Yeah. His knee's not supposed to bend like a fucking Beckham shot, okay? It's supposed to be like this. And the man who came in hit his leg and made it do this. So I don't care how you want to frame it or look at it. That's a stonewall red. That's a season-ending challenge. Reckless. If that was Christian Romero, It makes me so
He's a loose
fucking mad,
cannon.
Paul. It
He
makes me
can't
lose my
control his
mind.
emotions. He
I'm
can't
like,
control his aggression.
oh my God, it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. Like, if it was Chris Romero who did what Curtis Jones did, could you imagine what the narrative would be right now? Jesus Christ.
Oh no, man.
Let's
No,
keep the
I'm
vibes
loving it.
immaculate, though, because it wasn't Romero. It was Curtis Jones getting his dumb
Who
ass
could
sent
have
off. It was
done?
Diogo Jota getting his dumb ass sent off, deservedly. Talk to me nicely. First place prize today goes to Alan Bennett. Says, hi, Jacob. Come on, you Spurs. Big up. Over 100 of y'all in the house. Hit that like one time if you don't mind. Or don't. If you don't like what I said, it's all good. I get plenty of dislikes on the videos because people don't like what I have to say sometimes, Paul, and that's okay. The world is round, and opinions are as well. Adrian Troca says, good evening, all. Big up, Adrian Troca. Big up, Todd Spurs. Big up, Mark Swift. Jammy Git is in the house. Big up, Spurs GCTV. First YouTube chat member checking. Nope, Todd Spurs was the first YouTube chat member checking in. Big up, Todd Spurs. Big up, Ren. Good morning. Good morning. Manny Singh is in the house. Zapur is in the house. How are we all doing? Elvis G. Hello, Elvis G. How are you doing? Swifty. Big up, Mark Swift. J Big Mug. Well, I can be, I guess. Oh, maybe he's meaning my big coffee mug. I don't know. What do you think, Paul? Isn't mug like oh, Jacob, you mug? That's like a you.
You mug. Wee. So, going to do a bank robbery with a shooter.
Big up Dry Roast Peanut. Big up Daniel E in the house. Big up Bobby K and 3 Spurs boys. Big up Milton Nobrega says, howdy Jacob and Paul. Big up everyone in the chat. And big up Chewy. Suck on them apples. Loser pool. The double is on. Talk to Milton nicely. I love it. People showing love for Paul. Love to see it. Big up Paul every single time. Ren says, my daughter told me last night she was going to play Loving Big Ange instead at my funeral because she knows I love Tottenham, and that song reminds her of me. That's actually really sweet. I need little laughing emojis at the end, like it's kind of fun. That's very sweet. And if my son said that, I would be like, don't think about my funeral, but yes, thank you. So that's actually really sweet, Ren. Give your daughter a hug one time for the love. Steady as Sharks in the house. Big up Steady as Shark Yosarian. Good morning. Mountain Bush man.
Just on Yosarian there. We had the rugby league grand final here yesterday in Australia.
I heard a Texan won. Ren told me a Texan was on the winning team.
It was an incredible game. Brisbane, it was a good game. The Panthers won. Unlucky Yosarian, but you'll be back next year, man.
Oh, you'll be back. Big up Mountain Bush man. My second favorite Australian. Mountain Bush man. Big up Mountain Bush man. Mark Swift, LFC for the double says, so you forgot Skip doing an ankle breaker on Diaz. It was a foot stomp, or that doesn't count because we only address what Liverpool did over the years. That's one instance, yes, of a yellow card that he did not get a yellow card, yes. I'm overdosed on Liverpool tears, Spurs King. Side dancers in the house. Hi, everyone in the chat. Jacob and Paul, talk to me nicely. Good. Hey, we're talking definitely nicely to you, side dancer. Fred, Liverpool and Arsenal made errors because Ainge is putting them under pressure with our game style. This is actually something I want to talk about. Is like, again, luck only gets you so far. You have to put yourself in positions for lucky things to fall your way. Like, the ball doesn't fall in the net if you ain't shooting it. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, when we're putting that pressure on, I've said teams are going to crumble at some point when you put that pressure on them. Versus a low block versus Sheffield, the first time we saw it versus a low block, admittedly, we were all frustrated, but we eventually broke it down. Liverpool went into their low block. They had to go into a low block because they were down to 9 men. So they had 8 players out there outside of Allison, and so all they did is camp in that box and just were what they are, great defensive-minded players. They were well in their shape. This was not their first time at least training in that formation, being a man or two behind. Working in a professional sporting club, I can tell you for a fact, even at the level I was at, which was MLS, I saw firsthand they practiced this shit several times throughout a season. Going down a man, what do we look like? Going down 2 men, what do we look like? We lose a goalkeeper to injury while we're down a man. What is this? managers work on all this shit. So not surprised Klopp had them well trained, because they are a top team. They are a top contender. Like I heard about Arsenal, they're supposed to be title contenders. And what did we do? We brought their game to them, and we walked away. We took their lunch, shit in their toilet, and didn't flush. And that's what I've been saying, because that's how it feels. And with Liverpool, it feels like you came to our house, we gave you a slice of toast with some cheese on it, and said, that's a quesadilla, now get out of here.
And you know, if Liverpool hadn't have tried cheating,
Big up, Kate.
by time wasting, winding the clock down, Alisson taking half an hour to take his kicks, well, we wouldn't have had the extra 30 seconds we needed to score the winner. So it's your own fault, Liverpool. The red cards are your fault. The way you played is your own fault. And the fact that we won, we can claim that. We won.
When we look back in 2-3 years' time and we're looking at results, and last time we beat Liverpool, what are we going to be saying?
2-1.
I mean, this is what we're saying about some other results before. Big up Kate real quick every single time. Big up Kate with just a girl who loves Spurs. Tottenham's last 12 results against Liverpool under their last 4 managers to have played them. Pochettino, loss. Mourinho, loss. Mourinho had 3 as well. So that's 3 losses versus Liverpool for Pochettino. 3 out of 3 losses for Mourinho. Conte had 2 draws and a loss. Mason lost. Ange Postecoglou's first meeting with Liverpool won.
There we go.
Look at the man. Look at him. Let him cook. I swear, let him cook.
Totally calm. Oh, look at that look on his face. He doesn't care, man. Look at him.
He doesn't care. LFC for the double says that double save was straight at him. And what I would say to that is...
Yeah, well, that's like your opinion, man.
It don't count if the ball's straight at him.
It doesn't count as a save. Yeah.
They're just grasping. They're trying to catch mist. Any little thing they can grab hold of to justify their appalling, dirty performance that got them 0 points at White Hart Lane. Stuff them.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone does a funny dance before we meet them, and they do a funny dance after we meet them. Big up Sophia's Football Talk. Had a great show with Sophia's Football Talk the other day. How you doing? Hope you're well. And thank you for also sticking up and fighting the good fight in the group chats. People, they don't want to have fun today. I'm in a couple of group chats, and there's Liverpool fans in there. They weren't having too much fun with me today. So apologies if I offended anyone. I was just trying to have a good time. Which I am. I'm too blessed to be stressed, my friend. But big up everyone who is here. If you are Spurs or not Spurs, I do appreciate you being here, showing some love, because we all love the beautiful game. So, but big Liverpool fans getting that siren alert on their phones, warning about floods. I think from all the tears. Ren, it's not always the best idea to flood their box with extra bodies when they're already parking the bus there. You know, look, I'm not gonna sit up here and say what. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit up here and say like we should have done X, Y, and Z, because what we did do won us the game at the end of.
Right.
And I feel like there's not much of a conversation to have at that. Like, yes, these certain things are questionable, and yes, we could always be better. But at the end of the day, what was the result? It's just like, to me, I always got a point, you know. In competitive sports, maybe if I didn't have the best of days and someone tried shit talking me, all I had to say was scoreboard. If we're winning, scoreboard. That's all you got to look at.
Like if we hadn't made those substitutions, we don't know whether we would have won, lost, or draw. But we made the substitutions; it worked out, and we won. So it all went according to plan.
Big up Archibald. Big up Jay Spur. Jay Spur says Kulu was good. I mean, I thought he had a lot of chances, and I got annoyed with time after time seeing the same thing, the same result, the same thing, the same result, the same thing, the same result. He had a ton of chances. I felt like if you have a quality right winger who doesn't just do the same thing over and over, who has a mixed bag of tricks and is willing and confident to use them, that we get different results. I'm not saying anything about Kulu not being a good player. He's young. He's great forward for Sweden. He's had moments of brilliance. I say moments of brilliance with us, because over the long span, I feel like I'm more disappointed as time goes on with Kulu as it goes. Again, with Richarlison and Kulusevski, I'm not trying to tell them what they can and can't do. I'm just saying what I have seen, and how I feel about it. Ben Kaufman, big up Ben Kaufman, says Liverpool tried to injure Basuma and they nearly did.
Red card.
I mean, I don't know if they tried to or not. I can't speak on another grown man's intention, but I can only speak on what it looked like. And when I saw it live, and when I saw the replay, and when I saw the freeze frame, all 3 times I said, unbiasedly, that's a red. If that's Christian Romero that does that challenge and someone's leg contorts in that manner, he's getting sent off, and everyone's flooding my inboxes saying, LOL, you're in the mud, show me the Kuti photo, oh, he's such a bozo, Kuti Romero, he's your go, etc. But yeah, you're talking to me nicely, because it ain't Kuti Romero this week who done that. And then again, like, whose fault is that? It's fucking Curtis Jones' fault that he went in and made them look at that and say, well, look at that guy's leg. I don't like the way that leg looked. Like, regardless of, and when anywhere you go, all I'm hearing is, well, where he hit the ball in contection to where he hit his leg and how high it was in the, motherfucker, I don't care about that. You can't get out your ruler and what is it, a stensogram, those things that measures like a 90-degree, and the witching point angle he came in with his foot. Bro, don't show the studs. Don't let the ref make that decision. Simple fucking as. Be better, be calmer. This is what would they fucking say to me if it was Christian Romero that had done that? They would say, he's reckless, he's bozo, he needs to be smarter, he's got to do X, Y, and Z. So I ain't hearing that these reds were not justified. Absolutely fucking justified. The only thing I understand and I am sympathetic to is the fact that Luis Diaz goal looked onside at first glance to me. But you know what? Sometimes you get a smaller cake than the rest of the birthday. What are you doing? You opening it up?
I'm doing the linesman's flag. it wasn't. It was officially offside. So there you go. You can VAR all you like, but the linesman said, no, that's not a goal. So when you look at the scorebook, it doesn't say Tottenham 2, Liverpool 2, does it? It says Tottenham 2, Liverpool 1.
I love it, Paul. That's why I knew. I was like, I wasn't going to do a show today, but we were talking beforehand. And I was like, all right, I guess talking with you now I have to, because you got me feeling good again. And I was like listening, because I don't know. I was like listening to a lot of people. And I felt like we're afraid to feel happy and excited. And I feel like I just want to be one of the people to say it's okay to be happy and excited. It's okay to, falling in love with something that may or may not let you down. But I'm willing to take a chance on it at least. That's how I feel. Big up Twan for a super chat as well. Go ahead, Paul.
The way like when Liverpool had 11 men and we had 11 men, it was a toe-to-toe contest. Who's to say we wouldn't have won that 2-1 as well? I just don't get it. How everyone's whipping their own backs with birch leaves instead of just being happy and enjoying the win. Because we never beat Liverpool.
That's what I'm saying. At our stadium, especially at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, since they've erected that building, Liverpool has never lost. But that has changed. That is different now because of what? Ange Postecoglou and Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
Talk to me nicely.
I disagree with you a little bit about Kulu. I think he's getting better and better again. And
okay.
I'm liking he's got good strength on the ball. He's shrugging off people. I get what you're saying. Like he's always turning inside when he gets up there.
Should we not play him inside as like kind of a Madison backup? Maybe we could try tampering with that versus Luton. I'm not trying to tell Ainge what to do, but just I would love a Brennan Johnson type body on the outside, making runs and behind, really stretching that field, creating more lanes. Yeah, he is injured now, so that's kind of a moot point. Twan with the $5 dono says, Jacob, can I get on for a minute? I want to thank Paul personally, and now's my chance.
Please. That's all I mean.
I'm not a Spurs dick. You can thank him now. You didn't have to super chat. I was gonna try and comment you throughout the show and let you know that like I will have you on. Message me on Twitter. Today was just gonna kind of be Paul and I actually don't get to talk to Paul very often anymore because he's a busy man out there in the suit and tie world, working for the man. Yeah, ingratiating with society again. Meanwhile, lonely Jacob just streams without Paul all week. But come join me this week. You can join me tomorrow. But you don't have to donate as well to get on the show. I'm not like I try to read everyone's comments and say hello to everyone. And no, I haven't officially met you. But hit me up on Twitter. It's right, it's up there at uSpurs of I guess X. Hit me up on X, DM me so at least I have a way to contact you. I'm not going to give out my number on the onlines personally, but hit me on the DMs and we'll link up. We'll make it happen, bro. And tomorrow we'll still be drinking the tears of Liverpool tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. Is the water jugs are not empty. We've stored them all up. But big up and thank you so much for the super chat, although unnecessary. But just to grow love Spurs. I don't want to say unnecessary. It'll be quick. That's why I just want to quickly speak my piece to Paul. All good. I'm 55. I'm not on Twitter. I just don't have a way of sending you the link. Even if you were to come on right now and say hello to Paul, I don't have a way of sending you the link, my friend. So how can we connect? What are you on? And yeah, you can come on and say hello to Paul real quick. See that, Paul? You come on the show and people just want to come say hello, and I get it. When I see you, I want to come on the show and say hello too. But big up, Twan. I don't know how to hit you up. Are you on? He's 55 support. I don't think he's on Discord. Instagram. Yeah, I'm on Instagram at United Spurs of America. You can send me a DM there. I'll pull up the thing now. But Kate with Just a Girl Loves Spurs says, Jacob, I'm talking to you nicely. Sun is the dawn. Kate, thank you so much for talking to me nicely because, it does mean a lot to me. Because, I feel like a lot of fans were quick to say that Sun is not the dawn, that Sun is not the GOAT, that Heung-min's Son was done. That's what I was told. And things changed.
He's past it. He's not the player he was, Jacob. Look at it. How many goals? 6 goals now?
6 goals in in the Premier. 6 goals, and technically he's played 7 matches, but it hasn't been all of them in the number 9 position. But since he's been playing the number 9, that's 3 matches. Or wait, 4 matches, 6 goals. It's a pretty damn good return when you get Sun down the middle. And it was good actually to see because when the lineups came in, I was like, okay, is Richarlison going to be through the middle? Is it going to be Sun? And Sun was still through the middle, and I kind of like that. If I'm honest, I like that. Regardless, he was just saying, "What can you offer me there, Richarlison, on the side?" So I've got my United Spurs of America DMs open, Twan. So come holler at me in the DMs. I'll say what's up. There you are. Big up, Kate, and thank you for the donut to the channel as well. Go ahead, Paul.
But I watched this morning, that you can see those fan reactions when the goals go in, and all the Liverpool fans with the red card. They're all saying the same thing. Oh, with Jota. Oh, but the first yellow wasn't a yellow. Well, it was. That's why he got sent off after the second yellow. Like, it doesn't matter if that yellow was soft or not, you're still playing on a bloody yellow card. So when you're playing on a yellow card, you don't act the goose like Jota did. See you later. Take an early bath, mate.
Hey, again, I just go back to how I felt on this at the moment. Like, bro, you don't want... It's like me being upset that the judge in court ruled me guilty. You know what I'm saying? Don't fucking commit the crime, or don't leave it up to a jury to decide whether you're guilty or not. Just don't fucking do it. Be smarter, be better, be cleaner, and you take that out of the thing.
Are you suggesting jury tampering just to swing the odds in your favour there, Jacob? A couple of brown paper bags.
And I give him a couple of stiff handshakes, you know what I mean? A little some little stickety dickety right there. Big up. I'm super behind on the chat, but I want to make sure I say hello in case anyone that I missed. Inthaj is in the house. Isn't there going to be a rematch? They will play again. Paul, real quick, what do you think about that?
What are people on about? You don't read.
I definitely want to get your opinion.
Way Just because it don't go your way, you don't say, "Oh, we didn't win. Can we play that again?" That's not how football works.
You know how many times that we have gotten hard done on by VAR, and I said I wish we could do a if this was FIFA, I'm doing fuck no, we're not ending like that. Run it back. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't FIFA. This is real life. I don't know where and how you run that back, but I mean, there's a return fixture at your ground. That's your chance to bring it to us. You know what's funny is I hadn't even thought about when Liverpool play us next, but I just tuned into one show where a Liverpool fan was. He was like, "Oh, I'll see you May 4th at 9:30 or whatever time it was, and whatever day." I was like, "Oh, okay, so you've already." he's already penciled it in. That's what I'm saying, man. It's funny to me. It's absolutely funny. Big up Jim, just the guy who loves Spurs. Says, "Hi, Jacob and Paul. Hope you're both well. Fuck Liverpool. I don't care. We have the luck. We got the points, and we are second. And Big Ange, we trust." Big up Jim. Get in every single time. Big up Dub Shaman is in the house as well. EPL 2023. I believe that's an Arsenal fan. How you doing? He says, "Take the 3 points, but you guys were lucky." Yeah, I'm fine saying that. Yeah, I agree.
Were we lucky?
The Diaz goal. I'm saying we got lucky on the Diaz goal. The fact that they didn't spend time and draw their lines, pull out their rulers and their construction sheet paper, and yeah.
It's a flag, man. It's a flag. Flagged up. Flag.
I love it, Paul. That's why I wanted you on, because I knew you. That's why I had, man, I love it.
It was an unlucky own goal. Well, Romero last week, you know, I mean, that's just the way football goes.
Question for everybody: who had the cleaner finish, Romero or Matip? I think Matip was further. No, Matip was closer. So big up. Big up Drula's in the house as well. Big up Drula. Big up Jay Spur. I think I already said hello. Steven Gerrard's in the house. Says, "Oh my God, Yakub, you're United Spurs of America." Big up Steven Gerrard. Yes, I am. That is me. I am here. Hello, how you doing? And thank you for calling me Yakub. You're very welcome to call me by my nickname. Let's see if I missed anybody. Jay Ashraf's in the house. Big up Jay Ashraf. Jacob, why do you think Angels struggled to come up with a game plan to break them down with 9 men? I don't think it's a struggling with the coming up with a game plan to break them down with 9 men. Jay Ashraf, as I kind of said off the top, I feel like when you put five players that you could say start in 90% of the league's teams, you put 5 of them in the box and say, don't let anything through, and we'll put 3 players in front of you in and around the box, and don't press. Whatever you do, do not leave the box. Just stay in this zone and just defend. They're really asking them to do that. I think that they will be able to do that pretty well, better than we like. There's not more space in the box than there legitimately is, and when you put a bunch of human bodies in there, just because they're in there and they're like in and around, like, you see what happens. We just got to keep flinging things across net, and something might happen, and that's what happened. Pedro Porro just sliced it right across middle, and something happened, crowding the box with all them people. That's the only thing you can hope for in that situation. I think anyone who's played the sport in a competitive manner knows when you go down a man or down 2 men, like as a goalie, I kind of liked it, because now all you fuckers ain't way up there trying to get the glory. You're back here helping me do the dirty work. So as a keeper, that's better for everybody. But that's just me, man. That's just how I feel. So, but big up. We are coming up on an hour. There's still over 100 of y'all in the house. Hit up those likes if you don't mind. I see 83 likes. I see 109 votes. 45% says looking forward already to Luton Town. We will talk about Luton Town in due time, but it is still the freaking weekend, and I am ready to. I'm ready to just keep enjoying this, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's super good to have high expectations. Just enjoy it, enjoy the moment. We're just beating Liverpool, folks.
We've just beaten Liverpool. Shall I pull up the results again?
Where are we in the table, Jacob?
Regardless of the table, just look. All the times we've beaten Liverpool before. Look at those red. I'm not even going to read it. I've already said it. It's just X, loss, draw, loss. And now we finally won, and I'm supposed to be upset.
Go on, you Spurs.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I think Twan is in the backstage. We're sorting out the
Well,
camera.
I thought you were asking me, did I have a camera? And I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
no.
well,
Do you have a camera that's on and I'm looking at you right now? Big up Dara Azizi. How you doing? Lisa's in the house. Hello, Lisa. Hello, how you doing? Let's see. Caveman's in the house too. Big up Caveman. Big Red Machine. Please, Saudi Pro League come from Richarlison in January. How do you think Richarlison fared his first start as an Ainge Postecoglou left winger?
I think he did well. I think he did well. He well, we got the goal, didn't we? Maddison through to Richarlison. I think he's playing a lot better since he's got rid of the blonde hair. I think that might have made the difference. But I don't know, he seems confident. I'm getting happy with the way. I mean, look, he's no share of me yet, but it is possible that he might get share of me status in the future sometimes.
I like this comment here from Jamie Gitt. Says, Son is not the player he used to be. He's better.
Absolutely.
I love it.
The shackles are off. He's not having to play second fiddle to Harry Kane, whose Bundesliga experiment isn't going really that well at the moment.
Mark Cook in the house. Big up Mark Cook. Breaking news. East Lancs Road between Liverpool and Manchester is closed due to flooding. I thought it was due to all the people hugging and kissing in the middle of the street because they feel hard done on by Spurs. And I thought maybe there was some North London folk that went on that street too and were hugging and kissing.
All the Liverpool and Manchester and Arsenal fans, they're all just having a big...
They're all rejoicing. I'm hearing now Ainge Postecoglou's most overhyped manager in the league. When 3 months ago they were saying, who is this fucking loser? And now he's the most overhyped manager in the league. Bro, narratives are shifting quicker than the color of my white shirt if I go outside and stand in the sun.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful to see.
Like at the end of the first half, I've forgotten the commentary I was watching, but it was Sky Sports or something like that. And they were saying, oh, Liverpool played the better football. They were the better team in the first half. And I'm thinking, what game are you lot watching? What planet are you from? I love it. No one wants to say we're good. They're all writing us off. Yeah, just keep writing us off. Second in the league. Destiny's in our own hands. And we beat Liverpool. And we drew at Arsenal over at their place, you know. We're very lucky. Just keep saying we're lucky, bro.
It's just luck. Yeah, it's luck. And eventually you're going to be like, this motherfucker's kind of good at pool. He ain't just getting lucky with the way that these balls bounce off the side.
Well,
So.
it was all bloody, well, Spurs haven't played anyone. Okay, now what? What are you going to say now?
Well, this one, that's what I'm saying. The narrative, but that's good, Paul. That plays into our hands because where it's going to be is now is, oh, we haven't played anyone because the times we did, it's a shitty Manchester United. It's an Arsenal that are depleted. Injury crisis is what they claimed after the match. Injury crisis. Everyone's hurt. It's a crisis. So we got away with one because of the injury crisis. And then now it's, oh, well, 2 red cards and a dodgy offside call that they didn't. I mean, again, I sympathize with the Luis Diaz offside because that's happened to us, and yeah, it fucking sucks. But you know what? It didn't happen to me this time. So it's nice.
It's how you respond to these adversities. Like the Champions League final, right? The early penalty, dodgy, Sissoko.
We got Phil Coyes.
But it was Tottenham's fault we lost the game. Our heads went after that, and we weren't in it at all. That was Tottenham's fault. Can't blame the referee for that. You know, sometimes you just think you get things that go against you, and the great teams are the ones that carry on regardless.
Fair enough. Phil Coyes. Big up Phil Coyes in the house. I know you're riding high. I know you're feeling good. Dara Azizi says, what happened was that you couldn't beat a 9-man Liverpool without the refs and a Liverpool player's help. Whatever helps you sleep at night. I mean, we all cope differently with news. But the news is, regardless of our feelings and how our heart and mind tells us, the result is Liverpool lost this weekend and Tottenham won. So whether you believe that we couldn't break down a 9-man Liverpool, I would say we did. We fucking scored the game winner. And even if you say it's luck from a Liverpool player's help, you need to put players in positions, threatening positions, to force those errors. They weren't saying, "Oh, it was lucky and it was y'all helped Arsenal get that draw last week." It wasn't that. No one said that last week, that y'all helped Arsenal get that draw because Romero had the own goal. No, but now it's different. Again, that's like I'm saying. Everyone fucking talks different now, when in reality, they should have been talking nicely from the beginning, but they're getting the hint, I think. But that is, however you want to look at it. You think we didn't break down a 9-man Liverpool? I would say the end result says we did, because we got a goal at the end. And if you want to say it's an own goal, that's fine. But guess who was on his back forcing him to make that error? A Spurs player. His name was Oliver Skip, by the way. So whether you think Skip is shit also, if you think Skip is shit also, he made a big play at a big time moment, and it was absolutely crucial to the vibes we're feeling right now.
You know, when those subs came on, man, like, okay, you could say, you know, that obviously our players that come off the bench aren't as good as the ones that are on the pitch, but what we dropped off in creativity, we got back in legs. Yeah, I thought Pierre-Emile Højbjerg did well. I thought Skip did well. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. When I look at the score now, it says Tottenham Hotspur 2, Liverpool 1. That's it.
Lisa, I know. Lisa says, I don't feel one bit guilty about this win. Usually goes in others' favor. That's what I'm saying. It's like we've flipped a coin, and it's like we've been assigned tails, and other teams have been assigned heads. And every time we step up to it's our turn to play one of them, we're tails, they're heads. They flip the coin, heads, 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 heads. And then now, finally, it fucking hits tails and everyone's losing their goddamn mind. It's fucking hilarious. It's actually silly to me. Big up Ian Ferguson. Grabbing that membership.
You know, this game was on the world stage. The whole world was watching the Premier League, and the standard of refereeing was reprehensible. That's
the Richard.
It's a scandal. A scandal. They should replay the game. Well, fuckers, we should be replaying the European Cup semi-final in 1962 against Benfica, if you want to go back that far and rewrite the books.
I'm saying, man, it gets funny. It's getting funny. It is getting funny as well. We're 6 likes away from 100.
You know what? I might have a search for this. I bet there's some fucking change.org petition going for all the Scousers. Hey,
there is. Hey, there's a petition.
Replay the game. Is there really?
There is a petition. I saw it. Yeah, I seen it.
Brilliant.
I seen the petition. Jacob and Paul and Kedia took out Vicario and was not sent off. Romero's handball, both bad luck. But we had 2 Van de Ven own goal, 3 Van de Ven. It's not 3 Van de Ven own goals. It's 2, or is it 1?
Oh, it might be 1. Oh, yeah.
It's 1, and then Romero has 1, and the other one was attributed as a. I believe it was attributed as a goal for Mbeumo in the first week, the one that you're referring to. But says all bad luck was due to some luck we got at Saturday swings and roundabouts. Real quick, got a guest popping up, wants to say thank you to Paul for Paul. I'm telling you thank you before I bring him on, because I just want to be the first to say thank you. And then, but I'll let this gentleman be second. His debut on the channel. His name is Anthony. I've seen him as Twan55. How you doing?
Hey, man.
Hey, man. How's it going, guys? First of all, Jacob, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you shoehorning me in. I don't mean to be that kind of guy who's trying to bust into the party, and you're like, dude, party's over, bro. We're trying to end. I'm like, no, please, come on, just one drink. Let me come in for one drink. So,
oh, well, we're not ending the party, but you know,
I don't mean to bum.
It's always okay to open the guest list a little bit, and let's see how funky the party can get. But there were some things you said you wanted to come on and say, and
yeah, no, 100%. Paul, dude, directly to you. I want to tell you about one of those life-altering moments that I had. You were on. I'm serious. I'm not being hyperbolic. Hear me out. When you were on the Irish Hotspurs channel, it was like back in March, or it was in the dog days. It was in like the worst period we've ever had. And I mean, whatever, relative. It was in one of our darkest periods. And we were talking about the next manager and, Arnie's slot and this, and should we get Enrique or, all these names were being bandied about. And you said, and Paul, I'm paraphrasing. This isn't a direct quote, but this is exactly the spirit of what you're saying. You were basically like guys, the manager that you want he's on the exact same land as you are. He's fucking 300 miles to the north, mate. And his name is Ange Postecoglou, and that's the guy that you want. And everyone was like, and even Dave, Irish Hotspur was like, kind of, taking you seriously, but kind of like, what do you mean? Tell me a little bit more about this guy. And you're all, he's an absolute fucking genius. He's guy's incredible and stuff like that. And you had such conviction in your voice, and it was like, you're an Australian guy, so of course anyone's going to think, oh, it's an Aussie backing another Aussie, like type of thing, like a tribal thing. But I've listened to you before, and you talk so much sense about other things that I'm like, Ange Postecoglou, like, that put the name in. I'd never heard of him. I had no idea who he was. So I had the name in my head. And the more I researched him after you said that, the deeper I fell into like, that dude, Paul, the hippie Hotspur, that guy is right. And we're never going to get this guy. He's too like low brow for us. He's not a big enough name. It's not going to happen. But man, would that be cool if it did? And then as it got closer and closer, and Arnie's slot, and everyone wanted Tottenham Hotspur and all this kind of stuff. He was the big name, even though he's coming from what could even be considered the same as a Scottish league. The Eredivisie is not it's not exactly a La Liga. So the point of it is this. You were the one who was the first Spurs fan out of anyone. I define anyone to challenge this, to name Ange Postecoglou and say, this is the guy we need to turn around our club from top to bottom. And what you said is, I'll never forget this. You said, he's not one of the guys. He's the only guy. There's no one else that can do what has to be done. So I know it's like awkward when someone gives you this direct compliment, like you're some kind of god. But dude, what you said, sir, was so, you had such conviction. You were so positive. And David was like, kind of like, well, what do you think you would do for us? Or, do you think you would, be able to work on a Levy budget or whatever? He was kind of throwing these sort of questions. You go, mate, it doesn't matter what he does, what happens with Levy or whatever. Ange has been, he's been managing for years. He's been, 3 decades of management. And you were like talking about how much gravitas this guy has. And he's not just some flavor of the month, skinny jeans wearing, skateboarding, guy like Nagelsmann or something like that. And he's not some dinosaur like Luis Enrique. And you said he's just an absolute genius and an untapped source of beauty and like absolute genius. Sorry to be repetitive, but I'll end my rant here. You put that into my mind, and I had never heard of the guy in my life ever. I can't even say I'd never even heard. Luis Enrique had heard of. I knew who Nagelsmann was. I even knew who Arnie Slot was, believe it or not. But Ange Postecoglou, it was a weird name. It's not like, oh yeah, there's this Aussie bloke named Tim O'Leary, something that would maybe be a little more fitting. This was like Ange Postecoglou. And it just started me down the rabbit hole. I started researching him, and it became one of these dreams that I had kind of along with you. Like, wow, this would be really cool. It'll never happen, but wow, would it be cool. Once he got appointed and I saw his first press conference, my heart went bloosh, and I don't want to be gross, but we all know that little meme, that South Park meme of the guy at his computer. That's how I
Stan's dad. Yeah,
exactly. That we'll just call it the stain. Your conviction, my good sir, about this guy, and your absolute unwavering, like, you people don't understand. It's not maybe we should get him or this guy might do a job. He is the answer. Period. End of story. That's it. We probably won't get him because we're not smart enough to actually go after a guy like this, but we must get him. And it was like this that, anyway, I'll shut up. Sorry. But I loved it. And it made me, it brought me around early, so I became one of the early adopters. I was like, we should, to other people, we should get Ange Postecoglou, and they're like, who? And I'm like, the Celtic manager, as if I knew what I was talking about. But I'm like, I had to give you full credit. I go, I heard about it on the Irish Hotspur show from this Aussie guy who just was singing his praises left, right, and center. That's it. Rant over, but thank you so much.
Hey man, I appreciate you joining in your debut. Is very kind words. Paul knows that I've anyone who's tuned into this channel, I've always said I didn't know who the hell Paul was talking about. He was like, "Bro, mate, you got to get the age." You have a very good Australian impersonation, by the way. But yeah, good job on that. It's a lot better than my shitty one that I do and offend all the Australians every morning. But you know, I always credit Paul with the fact that he's the first person to.
Jacob, just don't say that your favorite city in Australia is Vienna. That you love Vienna and you love the skiing around Vienna. That if you say that, you'll get even more offended. A lot of Americans tend to do stuff like that. Like, oh, Australia, yeah, I loved it. We actually visited Hungary and Australia before we went to Greece. So great place. You know?
Oh, I've always been ingratiated into the Australian culture, so I would never make such a silly mistake. Kangaroos have been my favorite animal since I was a child, so I've always known about.
I'm just joking. I'm just, how Americans that aren't into Australia can say they can always mix it up with
like the Dumb and Dumber.
Exactly.
The intro to Dumb and Dumber.
Exactly.
This top two comedy movies.
But back to Ange. Tell me, like, did Paul put Ange on your radar as well early on, like me, or was I the only one that caught that? You know what I mean? I'm literally wondering that. Like, when did you hear about him?
For me, it was the first time I ever heard his name was from Paul, and it was on my channel, I believe, or maybe his, and I was just like, Paul says a lot of things that I vibe with, and generally, I resonate with as well. So whenever he said it, I was just like, oh, okay, like I don't know who the hell that is, but very nice. That's cool. I just figured it was like whenever I threw out, oh, we should get Mickey Van de Veen in January because I had seen him in the Bundesliga last year. It was like when I threw that out, it was just like something you throw, like also with Xavi Simons. Obviously, we didn't get Xavi Simons, but then we were linked with him after I just thrown it out that I think we should sign this kid. And it's like moments like that where you don't think it's going to happen, and then it does happen, but it not only happens, it works out to the umpteenth degree that you didn't think at this juncture, like this quickly, we would be firing on all sides. I didn't think Mickey Van de Veen would come in and be this fucking good. I thought he'd come in and be good in a couple years. I didn't think he'd come in and be a fantastic left-sided center back. So, I long may it continue. Long may the pleasant surprises. It's like manifesting things positively. And go ahead, Paul.
I was the same with Ange. I thought he'd do a good job. And I'm no rocket scientist. It's just that I've seen him do this trick several times over the last 20 years. And if you've seen what I've seen, then he's a good guy. But I didn't, we were in such a state of disarray. I didn't think it'd be this quick that we'd be playing this well. And it was really, when, I followed Ange over to Yokohama, and then it was really at Celtic because I could see the atmosphere and what he was building with the fans there, the togetherness. And at the same time, we were going through what we were going through with Conte. So I just thought, no, this is the guy. We need this. This is the guy that would fix everything. But he's done better than I thought he would. Way better.
I've never heard conviction like you had, though, Paul. It wasn't like all laughs and smiles and self-deprecating. You guys, you were basically telling Dave, who's Dave is very, very, very intelligent.
Shout out to Irish Hotspur. Go subscribe if you haven't to the Irish Hotspur.
That guy doesn't miss a trick. I mean, he's no dummy when it comes. Jesus God, he knows his Spurs. But he was kind of getting schooled by you. You were like, it's not a guy I like. It's a guy that it's the only guy that can fix the mess we're in. The only guy. The only guy. And that conviction really, really turned my head. I was like, all right, wow. When you use words like the only guy, I was like, okay. But how did you, but Paul, just let me ask you one direct question. So when he got appointed, were you nervous at all that he was going to run into some trouble, lose 4 out of the first 6 games, be on the firing line list of Levy? You know what I mean? Like the usual kind of crap. Or were you confident that he'd bet in quickly?
I was pretty confident that he'd be able to manage Levy, which I think he is doing. And I was pretty confident that no matter what the results were on the pitch, the fans would see what he was trying to do, and that would have been enough. And I was expecting maybe 4 or 5 games, a bit bumpy, but with flashes of, a bit like pre-season. There was like our first game, we took a while to get going, but then you could see what Ange's plan was. And the same in the first game against Brentford. It took us 45 minutes, but then you could see, and that was enough because, like even the game against Liverpool, people are talking about all the rubbish that went on. Has anyone ever seen a backheel nutmeg in the penalty box before? We're doing crazy stuff now at the moment. We're playing with a real swagger. So, no, I was confident he'd be able to do it, man. Well, look, if he couldn't have done it, no one could have done it. He's the guy. He is the guy. I first saw him in an interview, which loads of Spurs fans have seen now. Him when he was Australian youth coach, and the interviewer Craig Foster was giving him a hard time.
Interview, yeah, I watched that 20.
Yeah. Well, I saw that live.
Big up, Adam.
So that was the first time I saw Ange Postecoglou. And from that moment, I thought, and then he sort of disappeared for a couple of years. But I thought, I like the cut of this man's jib. He's sticking to his guns. Yeah. He's not, and you hear the way Ange is talking about the fans. There's none of this, fans must be patient. It's like, no, the fans do whatever they want. It's up to us to match their expectations. I mean, what more do you want from a bloody manager?
He literally told us as fans that we could go over the top as much as we want. And then what do we do the following 2 weeks? You're like, do not go over the top. You're a fucking idiot if you go over the top.
Keep your heads on the ground.
Big up, Rich. Yeah. I mean, again, in any facet in life, not just sport, not just football, not just Tottenham Hotspur, there's always going to be moments when it can be better, it could be worse. But at the end of the day, it's like, I had a shitty day at work, but you know what? If you're a commission-based salesman and you sold the shit out of a bunch of cars, you made a whole bunch of money, and you're like, man, it was a long, rough day at work. I didn't enjoy that, but like, you still came out on top. It's hard for me to really be upset with that if I'm being honest. So big up Rich, YouTube chat member in the house. Want to make sure I say hello. I almost cut up on the chat, but then y'all kept killing it. But keep on doing that. I see we've breached the 100 like mark. So thank you very much to everyone. 114 of y'all to be specific. I appreciate y'all smashing up the likes. 127 votes in the chat. 45% saying looking forward already to Luton Town. And I agree with you if I'm honest. 21% now saying still feels great. I don't care about the extra. How about that? Guys, I kept it PG.
I got to tell you something. I've been following this club since 2003. I'm a diehard I've given up American football, baseball, basketball. I didn't even it's not about me, but I just want to tell you, I'm so diehard Spurs. You have no idea. And I have seen stuff like I've seen the Mendes, Pedro Mendes, I think, or Pablo Mendes, I forget what his first name was, goal at Old Trafford. Jacob, you can look at this at YouTube videos. We scored a goal at Old Trafford that literally almost hit the back of the net. It was so in, and then they whistled it that it didn't cross the line. We're talking about the goal.
There's a famous photo too going on.
You had to walk in and retrieve it. It was like so. My point is this is before VAR and stuff like that. Against Liverpool, I've seen with you two have seen, like, literally I could name 5 off the top of my head, horrendous calls that have all gone against us. This is one game where one call was wrong, totally, but that doesn't make up for the moment that ruined all of our lives, which is the Sissoko body ball that got called a handball, a rule, the second Champions League rule that they changed for Tottenham. Number 1 was when Tottenham made 4th and Chelsea won the Champions League. That made 4th not get Champions League, which literally made Bale exit and had this chain effect of putting us into this horrible time period before Poch came. So they had to, that's when the Champions League rejiggered a rule because Tottenham fell victim to. And then the second one, another one, the Champions League rejiggered a rule that Tottenham fell victim to, which was the Sissoko that every Liverpool fan that I know that's cool starts out by saying, okay, first of all, let me get this out of the way, not a handball. Anyway, let's go on with blah, blah. So my point is we got away with one the other day with the offside call, forgetting the red cards. They were that's not an argument, but the offside goal was wrongly called. But we are due 20 more of those in terms of how poorly we've been, reffed against Liverpool specifically, and last week against Arsenal and against Brentford. Neither of those penalties should be called, and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like whenever it happens to Liverpool, literally, I'm surprised that the evening news didn't say like, World War III is about to start, but we're going to pause that and go out to White Hart Lane, where an egregious, like that, it was such huge news in England. You literally would have thought that that England had just, like a nuclear bomb had exploded in, downtown London or something like that, the way that they were so up in arms, when us Spurs fans have had these things happen to us 10s, 20s of times, and we don't even get a mention. Maybe a guy will go, yeah, that's a little bit unfair, a little bit harsh there, when it's like a completely wrong call.
And real quick, this is another thing. LFC Double says, so then why not stand against the bad refereeing instead of waiting for it to happen to you again? Where was this fucking energy when we were getting stomped on by refereeing? Now that it's happened, now finally VAR has gone against Liverpool, and they're saying now it's time for everyone to unite on a combined cause that refereeing is bad. It's been bad. We've known it's been fucking bad, but now because it happened to you and it didn't happen to us, they're saying now everyone's got to stand up against it. No, motherfucker. Either be against. I'm gonna take it to an extreme, but it's like being mad about like what Ted Bundy did. You're like, oh, I'm so mad about what he did, but like, it doesn't change what happened. It doesn't change the reality of it and the fact that it happened for years. But like, you weren't mad when he was doing it. You're mad now that you know about it. And so it's like, be mad about it from the beginning, or don't be mad about it now. If you celebrated that Champions League armpit of a handball, then you got to hold the L. That's just the nature of the beast that I feel, because I feel like it's a little disingenuous when people say, oh, well, now we all must stand together and fight the cause. No, like here in America, you might know this. You might know this one, Anthony. Like there was, like, no one gave a shit about Flint until Flint like had a documentary that came out and they were featured in it.
Yes.
And it's like, bro, this has been going on for like 20 years. And now you're finally, why don't you be upset 20 years ago when they instilled these regulations in place that left this whole town feeding off of radioactive water? But no, now you want, and so now then what all the people do for the cameras is, I'm with Flint. I stand with Flint. I'm with Flint. And it's a political stance. And I'm relating it because it just feels like that's what we're doing here. It's now you want to stand against the inconsistencies of VAR and refereeing. Where was this energy when it was fucking us?
Agreed.
It wasn't the same.
Paul, another thing, and you guys know this, they're going to get their fucking pound of flesh from us. You can guarantee that Spurs, whatever we get, my son said this, whatever we get, we will pay for. You know what I mean? Exponentially. We will be the hunted. Any 50-50 call will go against us. We'll get Romero get sent off for like looking crossly at a ref after a call or something like that. In other words, they'll get it back from us.
Let me ask you this. If Romero did, this is kind of something that I've been talking about, the theme of today. If Romero done what Jota or Curtis Jones done, tell me just real quick, what do you think the narrative would have been if Romero had done what Jota did those 2 times or what Curtis Jones did to Bissouma?
They would have wanted him out of the league. Like Romero, they would have said he should be brought up on criminal charges, not even on football charges.
They would have tried to arrest this man before he even got to his car.
He's dangerous. There's a reason why Argentina and England fought a war in the Falklands. It's people like Christian Romero. He's a beast, and he should not even be playing the game. They should arrest him is what would be happening, frankly. But instead it's like, oh, no. I mean, he went in studs up and could have ended his career. But, I mean, come on. That's not a red card. That's just a guy playing out of position, and he made a mistake. That's why pencils have erasers. I don't know what everyone has to go so nuts. It's just insane. The hypocrisy is insane. And by the way, my kid was going nuts with this, and kids are on. The reason why I keep mentioning my son is because their kids are more honest. They just say directly what they're feeling. He's like, Dad, the announcers want Tottenham to lose. They're gleeful.
They're so like, biased.
Insane.
But that's because of the broadcasters that we get here in America. They're all ex-Liverpool, ex-United, or Arsenal. It's one of those 3. You take a pick, and if not, they're sending it back into the studio where their expert is a West Ham guy. It's like everywhere you fucking turn, as a Tottenham Hotspur fan, they're just dogging us. But guess what? Guess how resilient our club is, despite never getting the media marketing that a United and Arsenal or Liverpool gets here in the States, and now City as of late because they're winning. But we still have the most amount of official supporters clubs in America, Tottenham Hotspur. So hold that one, ESPN.
And like decisions like this, they're as old as the game itself. You know, some decisions you get going for you, some you get going against you. And I like what Ange was saying about VAR. It's like, well, people are under this fantasy that VAR is going to make all decisions perfect, and it never can, and it never will. But decisions have been part of football for as long as I can remember. I've been to games where I've seen goals where you think you scored, and then you see the line.
Big up Jeff THFC.
It happens.
Guys,
sometimes you don't. And no matter what, you've got to have the mentality to play through it. And Liverpool clearly don't have the mentality because they folded. They folded under Aaron's floor.
Is how much this game has changed. When that own goal went in, my right hand to God, I didn't even celebrate. I literally just sat there and looked at my son and was like waiting and waiting. Now, I knew personally that was a goal. There was almost no way they could call back. But I never know. I've seen things that I thought, oh, definite goal. And they're like, oh, in the build up to the play, his hair was ahead of the ball and could have, whatever. So I'm so conditioned, like Pavlov's dog, to not celebrate after goals that it's literally taken, unless it's like it's airtight. Unless it's airtight, if there's any possibility that it could be offside or whatever, or something like that guy committed a foul before he got into position, if there's any possible way that it can be taken away, it will be. So that what happens is when we score, and especially late in the game against Liverpool, I wasn't jumping up and down. I was like, I'm probably more excited now than I was when the own goal happened, because I was waiting for the horror of it to be called back. And that is so sad. That is such an indictment of the game. It has taken away the spontaneity and the ability for the average fan to just go fucking batshit crazy when your team score. You get so happy. Instead, I have to, like, Kulu's goal. Okay, I got it because there was so many people in front of him, you could see it. But anything that's even like the slightest bit close in quotation marks, I'm just waiting for them to go up. Hold on, there's a check. The ref's walking over to, these guys, he's talking to someone, and I'm like just going like this. So now to the point where I can't even celebrate anymore. I literally sit there stone-faced, and then when they say check complete, whatever, I go, okay, yeah, all right, cool, we have the lead. As opposed to just like the old days where a goal meant you went crazy, or a goal against you, meant your head was buried in your hands. It's changed the entire nature of the game for me to the point where I can't celebrate a goal. Like that's insane.
Big up. There's another thing I do want to move the conversation on to, but I saw a chat in here from Akeef TR, a YouTube chat member. I think you were gifted one of the times for being here. It says, hi, I'm a Galatasaray fan. We appreciate you for Davinson Sanchez. He is playing absolutely awesome. Such a big team player. He plays the ball good. He tackles good. His heading good. Big defender. And I love that he has been so welcomed and endeared. And I've prayed on his success in Turkey because he's not a bad defender. He's just not to the level in which we need and want to go for. He needs.
He's not a bad guy. He seems like a good.
No,
dude.
He seems like a great guy. So. I love Davinson Sanchez going there. He seems happy. The fans seem happy to have him. And I'm glad that you're here with United Spurs of America. Real quick, 150 of y'all in the house, hit the likes up. Participate in the poll if you have not already. We are still celebrating the day. 137 votes in the chat. Says, how you feeling the day after? We're still saying looking forward to Luton. That's where we're at. But big up everybody in the chat. The next thing I wanted to talk about is just in the spirit of everybody moving differently, people dancing a different dance. Big up Craig the Gecko Man and Patrick Duffy as well, tapping into the chat. Big up Martin Oz. And Akeef says, we love Davinson so much. Very good. Very good. I'm glad that you do. Let's see here. I wanted to bring this up in the spirit of people changing their tunes. So let's go ahead and share this now. Let me see. Maybe I need to zoom out here. So Laurie at LFC Laurie Shout out at whoever the fuck. Normally I don't give a shout out like that, but at LFC Lori says, 4 years ago, we were mocked for celebrating in front of the Kop after a last-minute draw against West Brom, which they haven't been back up to the Premier League since this time, by the way. Don't think rivals understood. It wasn't celebrating a draw, but celebrating the unity and a sign of things to come. I bet none of them are laughing now. This is what she said. This is her tweet. She tweeted this. And then what she had to say yesterday was a little different. The dance was a little bit different. She says, I'm still howling. Spurs players were given a lap of honor and bringing their kids onto the pitch after beating 9 men in September, with a bunch of crying emojis. And just, what was it? 4 years ago, we were mocked for celebrating in front of the Kop for a last-minute draw versus West Brom, who got relegated later that season and haven't been up to the Prem since. So let's keep the energy where it belongs. And I'm gonna tell you what your manager told Ryan Mason last season when Oliver Skipp got a cleat to the face. He said, "Worry about other things." How about that? Worry about other things instead of how we celebrated getting full 3 points against Liverpool. So hold that L again. Here's the kangaroo one time for you. Kisses from the kangaroo. But big shout out. I just find.
But, you know, whose fault is it that you're at 9 men? Whose fault's that? It's not Basuma. What, did Basuma put his leg under someone's studs intentionally? You know, Liverpool folded. They cracked. They couldn't stand the heat of Tottenham Hotspur, and they went nuts, and they couldn't keep us out, and they were desperate. They tried parking the bus, but Ange has got the keys. Ange has got the keys. He drove your bus out the way, and we got the late winner. How do you like them fucking apples, Liverpool?
How do you like them? I hope they're what are they? California apples, the big juicy ones, and not the Granny Smith, the sour green ones. Ew.
What do you think of our, and Paul, if you guys don't mind my asking, we all know that there's two absolute worst case scenarios. That's one of our center backs going out or Madison going out for any extended length of time. Two areas where it's irreplaceable. So is Dorrington or the other kid, I forget his name, the 6'4" kid that we just got,
no, Ashley Phillips.
Ashley Phillips, thank you. Do you guys know, I'm being serious, if God forbid, I'm knocking wood, doesn't happen, if Van de Ven or Romero got injured and couldn't play for whatever 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, have you heard anything that we have to have someone, right? So 2 questions, and whatever you think about this, please just try to answer it without prejudice. Number 1, would it be Dyer? Is he number 3 on the depth chart? Being serious. And then number 4, if
he wasn't yesterday.
Who was on the bench? It was
Ashley Phillips, yeah.
Okay. So
and Ben Davies.
Does anyone know the scuttlebutt on the kid? I know you don't know what he's going to be like until he gets actually into a game. You could think he could do anything. He could do cartwheels in practice, and it doesn't mean that in the game he's going to be, there's practice and there's games. I get that. But I'm saying, like, has anyone said, like, have you guys heard anything about, like, this kid could be Prem ready? It wouldn't be ideal. Preferably he wouldn't see a minute of action in the Prem, and maybe only, unless we're leading 6-0 and there's 2 minutes left or whatever. But you don't want to hurt his career by bringing him in too soon. But has anyone told you guys, or you've heard through the grapevine or whatever, that either of Dorrington or Phillips is ready to put that, like literally get out on that field and be a center back to partner with whomever, Romero or Van de Ven, if one of them got injured? Have you heard anything about that?
Paul, do you want to answer this first, or you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, well, I've seen a bit of Dorrington, and he's great. So if Phillips is in the same breath as Dorrington, that's a good thing.
Are they both right-footed, Paul?
Sorry?
Are they both right-footed, like right-sided center backs?
Oh, I don't know about that, man. But just on the injuries in general, they haven't happened yet. Okay. So if they happen, then I'll worry about it then. But at the moment, no one's injured. We've got Benson Core coming back. I don't care. If we get through unscathed until January. We've got another window to sort that shit out. So, you know, I'm hearing people saying, "Oh, we're one injury away from disaster," but it hasn't happened. So we're second in the league. Destiny's in our own hands. That's all I care about at the moment.
And also,
I agree. I agree with you, Paul. Real quick, I agree with you, Paul, about that because it hasn't happened yet. But I think that's the general fear for a lot of people. But again, my favorite
monster in his cock. You know, I mean, you know, other players of other teams can get injured too.
I mean, true. And we've seen it. A lot of people have gone down for other clubs. But my point in saying is like there's a certain philosophy of life that you either subscribe to. And if you haven't seen the movie Donnie Darko with Jake Gyllenhaal, I highly recommend it. But they speak about this in that movie. And they speak about the line between fear and love. And if you operate your life on the side of fear and not love, that you have to have a balance of a healthy fear and a healthy love. And if you operate too much in the line of like, oh, well, if we go, but I subscribe to the fact that we're one injury away from about 6 different positions. There's 6 positions I'm looking at that if there's an injury in one of them, we look a lot different. And again, I always say we look a lot different. I'm not saying the wheels fall off because like you're asking about Ashley Phillips, I think Ainge Postecoglou put him in the 18 or 20. Now it's a 20. I think he did that because he sees enough in this kid to say he'll offer me more than Dyer if I need him. And so if that is enough for him, it's enough for me. And I'm not going to sit here and say Ashley Phillips isn't ready because he was about to come on. I mean, we saw Alejo Veliz. Ainge Postecoglou said he's finally working with us and he's really impressed me and I really like what I've seen. We're throwing him into the U21s. Played a little bit with the U21s and he said we're going to play him again with the U21s. And instead of doing that, he said now you're getting your home debut. So it's pretty special what these kids have been able to do and so, as far as impressing the manager. But at this juncture, I still don't know if it's how much of it is they've impressed Ainge Postecoglou or the others are just so shitty that we've seen for years and years and years. And now it's finally this anything is better because the shout out Sean with Spurs Talk Show. He said something. There was a. Do you start Ashley Phillips or do you start Eric Dyer if there's an injury to Van de Veen or Romero? And a resounding amount said Ashley Phillips, and I subscribe to that as well. I would put Ashley Phillips ahead of Dyer because I know what Dyer offers me. I know how much value that is in that $1 bill. What I don't know is how much value is in the mystery box. There could be no money in there. There could be $1, but my chances of it being more than $1, I think is higher than if I said, here's $1 and that's all I know it is. So I've always subscribed to the fact I think we throw the kids out there. And you know what? Alejo Veliz got thrown out there and got a chance to be thrown out there. So for me, I really see it like this. Ainge Postecoglou at every turn, he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. If we play a full force squad versus Liverpool or versus Fulham, then it's why didn't he and we pick up an injury or something that's why didn't we do this, and it's he went with the weaker lineup. And so outside of that, let's move now we go forward again. Late on the match he brought on X, Y, and Z. I mean the result we still won, but in the match he brought on X, Y, and Z, and it, to me in the moment didn't feel like we were trying to go win it. Because we were trying to break them down, we couldn't, and then we took off our 2 most creative, effective forwards, forward-playing players in James Madison and Son. But then we got to see Alejo Veliz, and I said, you know what? Go ahead and let me see it. And then I heard people complaining we didn't see also Ashley Phillips, and it's like, why are we seeing Ben Davies? We know what Ben Davies offers us. Why are we seeing Pierre-Emile Højbjerg? Why are we seeing Oliver Skip? We know what they can offer us. Why not play these kids? But I see it this way. If he had played the kids and we didn't get that result, people would be saying, what's wrong with Ainge Postecoglou? He put too much trust in these kids. Look, let's question his talent ID. Let's question his motives. Let's question this, that, and the other. It's just, again, everyone loves... It's like if it goes this way, they're going to talk about why didn't it go this way. It goes this way, they're going to talk about why didn't it go this way. It's just... I feel like Ainge Postecoglou is just from what I've seen, what I've been exposed to, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. And that's just really not fair for the guy, I think, in my opinion. But you know what? That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Big up Danny Kiriakou as well. Big up Danny. Hope you're keeping well. Always think about you, buddy. Hope your transition to a new country has been smooth. And big up Derek Smith as well. Hello, Derek Smith. Ed Sweeting, I think I've said hello. Baxter Thewall. Hello, Baxter. How you doing? Jeff, I've seen you in here, Jeff. Big up Jeff. Big up John Joe. Jamie Gitt says Donnie Darko, Klopp got the same teeth as Frank the Evil Rabbit. If you know, you know. Shout out Jamie Gitt. But big up indeed. If you know, you know. I have a damn Donnie Darko tattoo. That's how much I love that movie. It means a lot to me.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jacob,
it's.
can I ask you a question about the contingency plan? Just thinking about the what ifs. And Paul, I know you want to cross that bridge when we come to it, but let's say that we came to it, sooner rather than later. Do you guys think that would you hazard a guess that Ange is using Davies and Romero as their right and left, backups, like really putting them? Would you say that he's grooming them to be like, guys, if one of these dudes goes down, you might be called in to play center back, not left, or right back? Like, especially, which I know Davies he does it for Wales. I get that. But Romero, Emerson and Romero are like an anagram. I always get them mixed up. Sorry. Emerson. Do you think he's grooming Emerson to be a right back in that emergency? Like, we need someone to fill in there, and he doesn't want Dyer. He has such an anti-Dyer bias, Postecoglou, that he's like, I'd rather take a chance and play Emerson out of position than I would put Dyer in there. What do you think of that? Do you think he's grooming anyone in our squad to take that right center back spot? Because Davies is the only left footer, and he's played there, so that's kind of a natural replacement at least. But the right side, it seems like we have no one except the kids.
Well, that's Ashley Phillips' position. He's a right-sided center back. That's what he played. At Blackburn, that's what he played for the academy. I don't know that necessarily he's grooming anyone, but Ange Postecoglou has always said he likes players who are versatile. He doesn't like players who have one set of skills and that's it. He likes the fact that players can fill in. That's what he liked about Ben Davies. I hate Ben Davies. I don't want him in the squad anymore because I've seen enough of him. But he said, I like Ben Davies because I could put him at the left back. I could put him at the left center back. There's different things I could do with Ben Davies. And again, I trust Ainge. I didn't like the Ben Davies quotes that came out, but you know what? He wants a versatile player, and who's not versatile is Eric Dyer. So whether it's Ashley Phillips, whether it's the damn kangaroo, if he could play the position, it's what we're going to see. So we are going to be getting close to wrapping up the show. So if you have any last-minute things you wanted to get off your chest, now is the time, chat. I still have a few more tweets that I did want to bring up. But I really like this from our main man. So let me go ahead and share this screen with y'all. Cuti Romero to McAllister. I guess McAllister wanted to comment on his Instagram post and said, normal when you play with 12, referring to the fact that the referee made some calls in our favor. And Cuti Romero said, cry at home, you bitch. He didn't say you bitch, but I added that because that's how I feel about it personally. Cry more is what I say. And again, the same thing I said about
Love it.
Arsenal and Arteta and Boohoo Saka. I'm going to keep that same energy. If their manager's crying, then the players are going to cry. So I expect this type of behavior from Alexi McAllister. But you know what I love more from our boys is the love that we share between our players. There's something else wanted to show. There's a
different team now.
Oh, also want to say fuck these Liverpool fans being racist to Ugodi. They're all upset. They're being a bunch of racist prigs. So that happened on Instagram today.
Oh no, man!
Yeah, a bunch of dickheads.
That still happens. God.
Yeah, it still happens. It's quite silly if you ask me. But I don't think I have it starred. But no, yeah, here it is. So Mickey Van de Veen commented on Vicario's Instagram post, and he said "wall," and Vicario replied, "My bodyguard." Yeah. And I mean, honestly, everyone's loving on each other. The vibes have been immaculate. Everyone, they both just started their 7th Premier League match. If you didn't remember, so did Destiny Ugodi. They just started and finished their 7th Premier League match. Let that sink in. Those 3 young lads, absolutely instrumental to what we're doing here. I love to see it so much, but honestly,
I loved you just flashed up on the screen there the statement from the PG mole or whatever, the Pog mole. I love that. I love it. It's brilliant because it just brings out the salt even more from the Liverpool fans. You got dudded, and there's nothing you can do about it because the record book says Tottenham Hotspur, by far the greatest football team the world has ever seen. 2, Liverpool 1. 1's less than 2. You lost.
Very well said. I love that very much. Akif here says, I became a semi-Tottenham fan. I say semi because I love Brighton also. Didn't like Romero, especially in the Arsenal game. By the way, I only watch Tottenham and Brighton games in the Premier League, plus big matches.
Dude, you got to pick one. You can't have two teams. It's not the way it works. You just got to go with one, bro.
Yeah, you got to go with one Premier League team. Only one. And we're better than the damn Seagulls. Don't let the haters fool you. Scott M is in the house, says, usually I like Romero, but that is pretty weak response from a truthful post from McAllister. My response would have been even weaker. It would have just been a plus symbol and a 3. Because at the end of the day, whether you didn't like it, Scott, whether I didn't like it, the result was the same, plus 3 points. Talk to me nicely.
You're ruthless. I love it, dude. I love it, dude.
I mean,
Jacob, let me ask you this. Just one last, please. You indulge me. This is a quick one. Paul, don't get mad at me. If Madison goes out, and you know that motherfucker looks like he's going to go out every single time someone smashes into him, and they always try to take him out. And he's slight. He's 5'9", and he's not the biggest dude in the world. He's you know what I mean? He could go out. Who plays at the 10 in your mind? Lo Celso, or would you think he would move, Decky in or something like that? Like, that is such an important position for us. Who would be the creative spot, in your opinion, if that happened? We need creativity. There has to be someone. Who would you think that Bentancur? What do you think Ange would do to try to pick, locks that will definitely be bestowed upon us? Especially if Madison goes out and we're playing some lower level team that's just going to park it and dare us to get creative. Who do you think who is our next most creative player, I guess is what I'm saying. Second behind Madison, in your opinion?
Well, we got Bentancur coming back from injury. That's not bad. So him, Basuma and Sarr would be a good midfield. Yeah. I think, yeah. Look, Pierre, to his credit, is playing better and better. I don't think it's the end of the world. And, we got, injuries, we'll be fine.
Every team has injuries. It's just we're paper thin. We have injuries, and the drop off is off a cliff. It's not like the next guy up is a 70% of what the next guy up might be a guy that's never played.
But I see it again. I think it goes back to a lifestyle preference. For me, I may not have enough money to pay for rent in 2 or 3 months from now, but you know what? That's not my problem right now. Right. My problem's this month. My problem's the next match, which is Luton, which is not thinking about if this player goes out, if that player goes out. You deal with these things when they happen, and you hope that you have someone who can slot in. Now, obviously, I think the most immediate answer to that would be someone like Giovanni Lo Celso, but I have no faith in a guy like Giovanni Lo Celso. I don't think that he wants to be here. And I do want to go back to this because this brings up another great point. Daniel E. says, Jacob, when I see Romero tell his international teammate to cry more, it makes me proper realize Romero loves his club. And this was, again, something that fans used to beat Romero over the head last year with and say he's not fully coy. He cares more about Argentina. He just told his World Cup winning mate, go fuck off and cry more. And you're telling me that he doesn't love Spurs. And notice the narratives all change differently. Spurs fans talking to Romero nicer. Again, they're upset with what happened at Arsenal, and we should be. He could have been better, but he also could have been worse. We walked away with a draw, but you know what? I thought he was damn good versus Liverpool, if I'm honest. I thought he was pretty damn good anytime he had the chance. Mickey Van de Ven was damn good. So, again, the narrative that Romero cares more about Argentina than he does about Spurs is a lie. It's a myth. Another myth made by the imaginations of Tottenham Hotspur fans who last year had too much time to get creative. That's what I blame it on. We had too much time while we're watching Conte ball to sit there and say, maybe this is what's actually going on. Maybe this is what's going on. Maybe this guy.
Instead of the whole thing being complete arse.
LFC for though, maybe it's just banter. It wasn't. It was not banter. Last year when Spurs fans weren't looking at me the way that I need them to look at me, which is like this. This is how I was looking at them all last season when I said, don't worry, he's going to prove his worth this season. And he's already done that, and he's continuing to do that. And I have faith that he will not only continue what he's done, but progress and be even better than that. Nice. Look at the vibes. Yeah, and I mean, I didn't even mean to pull this photo up. I meant to pull this one up.
No, but it proves that he's soft. You know, that he has a nice side to him, and we always.
Bro, he's not this like crazy bozo fucking party animal snorting a line of coke and then goes sliding into a tackle like his name's Diogo Jota or Curtis Jones. No, his name's Christian Romero, okay? And he's going to play his style. And if you don't like it, well, guess what? You eventually will. You're going to like it whenever he clatters into Mohamed Salah. I bet we all like that. I'm just saying, people love him when he's benefiting them, but they don't want to love him when they're saying, oh, he wanted to play more for Argentina. Oh, he doesn't care about Tottenham. He's not. He turned down offers. I'm sure he would have gotten banked to go play in Saudi Arabia. I was told he wasn't a good defender. I hear so many things, man. It's absolutely crazy to me. Rich coming in here says, I'll admit I had my doubts about Romero last season. Having said that, I don't think we were seeing the best version of Romero. Romero is definitely fully poised under Ainge. We were not seeing the best version. Absolutely correct there, Rich. Go ahead.
No, I just said same with Bissouma. We didn't see the best version of Bissouma last year either, and that's the understatement of the century. Dude, the more I realize, Jacob and Paul, what Conte did or didn't do with Pop Mate Sarr and with Bissouma, it makes me like I'm literally wide-eyed in I'm dumbfounded how he could have a kid like Sarr who's magic and a guy like Bissouma who's super ultra magic right on your bench and he doesn't fit your system or whatever. I can't even fathom it. I mean, these guys are like, imagine this. These are the same two players that were sitting on riding the pine last year. And they're two players that I couldn't even imagine us playing without them now. So integral are they to our squad. And it's incredible.
Yeah, I agree with you there. LFC for the double says we need a camera in that Argentina dressing room. I absolutely agree. That needs to be the next prime one. I wish they were doing it for their World Cup run, but they were probably in the Brazil locker room because I think that was everybody's favorite. But I agree with you. And LFC also says Romero's style is more rash. That's how he is. I agree, and that's why I love the style he plays. As a goalkeeper, I loved seeing my defender not being afraid to run out of his position and go clatter a man for the ball. I'm not afraid to, if there's a guy who's been tearing up the league, the future Golden Boot winner, and he's coming to town and you're worried that he might score. I like the fact that in 13 minutes he went out there and said, my name's Christian Romero, how you doing?
Give him a little touch up.
Give him a little, how you doing? And guess what he did the rest of the match? He fucking curled into a ball, and he was afraid to go occupy those areas because guess who said hello? Christian Romero's at the door. People, here's the thing. It's like being online. You talk. Yeah, it's exactly. You go out, that's what I'm saying is you go out there and you put a hit on them early. It changes their mindset. They're looking at this different. I'm trying to play the rest of the season. I'm not trying to get clattered like that again. You know what I'm saying? And more props to him. That was a smart choice. Don't go fight with my man Kuti. Jacob, Daniel says, Jacob, no, you did mean to put that picture up. You want everyone to see how proud. Absolutely. Look at that.
I love it.
I'm still waiting for the photo of me. I want to Photoshop me and Kuti doing this.
By the way, why is Romero wearing glasses in that picture? I don't really understand. But he does look cool with the glasses, though. Just the earring throws me off. Anyway, he looks different.
He looks a little different, yeah.
Handsome guy next to him though, which is cool. But anyway, maybe that's a friend. But but for real, all the narrative around Romero, it's the same thing with Vicario. A lot of people judge these players, but off of the nonsense of either not seeing them or seeing them under a manager that wasn't right for them. And I can hold up my hands too and say I did it with Vicario. I absolutely prejudged the guy. He looked like a deer in headlights in the preseason. I thought we should have gotten David Rea, and I'll tell you what, I'm a clown. I'm a clown for thinking that. That shows how little I know because our goalkeeper, Guillermo Vicario, is magic. He's straight fire. I love the guy, and knock wood to not jinx him, he's only going to get better. And so I was wrong as wrong could be. And because he looked unsure to me and unsteady in the preseason, it's like, yeah, because he's playing with the defense of like Dyer and Davies or whatever, and doing all this kind of, whoever was, or he nothing was settled, and I made a snap judgment on the guy, and I'm a clown for thinking that. I'll come right out and admit it. So I'm just gonna shut up and let Ange do his magic, and if he wants him and he believes in him, then it's fine with me. It's all good. I'm not judging anyone.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, at the end of the day, it's okay to be wrong and be proven right about something that's a pleasant
I want to
surprise.
be
So,
wrong. If I see someone's like not good,
yeah,
for
that's how I feel about Kulu. That's
want
how I feel about Richarlison. I want to be proven wrong. Brian Hill, same thing. I
it.
want to be proven wrong that
One of
they're
our
not
knows.
total
Yeah,
wastes of space and wages. I mean,
agreed.
and then Ed coming in here, big up Ed, first chat of the day, says, can we admit Van de Ven is carrying Romero so far this season? That's just a straight lie. They're carrying each other. Yin and a yang. It's peanut butter and jelly, baby. You can't just have a straight peanut butter sandwich. You can't have just a straight jelly sandwich. You need peanut butter and you need jelly. They complement each other so well, like salt and pepper, like gravy and mashed potatoes. Talk to me nicely.
100%.
Romero just there to bully guys. Van de Ven does everything else. I mean, Batman,
Well,
Robin.
even if that's the case, I'm happy with it because it's working.
No, out of the back. No, he's got a little more in his locker than just being a tough guy. He's a skillful. He's an amazing defender.
Big up Howie says chopped Liverpool. Big up Jacob Paul. Don't stress over the weak bench. This is only the first phase of a multi-window project. Aussie rules football. Big up Howie. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Wilton Nobrega says, or no, Wilton McDonald. Sorry, I'm used to saying Milton Nobrega. Says we still haven't played anyone yet.
No,
and then,
don't look at us. Don't worry about.
no, don't worry about us. That's what I say. Do not worry about us. Ridwan Rylex Olasupo says, yo, Jacob, it's Rylex from Lagos, Nigeria. Here, I am just angry at this point of time because I just saw the racist abuse that those Liverpool skunk bags did. It's just so wrong, man. I get so angry after. I know it is a very upsetting thing that this day and age, and unfortunately what it is like, these guys are so upset that they just want to get his attention. And unfortunately, you can compliment a man, or excuse me, you can compliment a woman 10 times, but if one person says something nasty about her, that's what the mind goes to, and that's where the attention is. And I think that this is an unfortunate part of social media where people pay attention to the negative instead of the love, because what I saw when I went and looked at his Instagram was folks like me saying, you Goaty, I love you, thank you for being here. If you look at any of his Instagram posts, you can probably find my personal Instagram. I'm not going to tell you what my personal Instagram is, but I'm in the chat. I'm in the comments of their Instagram posts spreading love. I'm in the DMs spreading love. And it's unfortunate that these things still occur in 2023. It's just silly. And unfortunately, that attention always gets brought upon the negatives and not the positives. But you know what? That just means he's rattling some fucking heads.
And the sad thing is, it's not that's not a Liverpool specific thing. I've seen Spurs fans do the same thing as well. You know, you just get 2 or 3 idiots in every club. You know. There's just assholes out there.
It's not Liverpool fans in total, right? Let's not generalize, because I know all the Liverpool fans I associate with would distance themselves from that kind of behavior as far as possible. So
never do that. Agreed.
So I agree with it's pretty silly, but you know, I had to point it out because it did happen, and I want to detest it. It's very awful. Big up Jason Bell says, big up guys, been busy, just joining in now, about damn time. We had some luck against Liverpool. Big up Jason Bell. We will be ending the stream. We are coming up on 2 hours, but I want to say, if you're still here, one of the 124 that are still here, please do go over to Hotspur Hippie, hit that subscribe over there, help his channel grow. He's almost at 2K. You're what, like 90 away, 80
something like that. That's the only reason I keep coming back here, man. You know, because obviously I've got less subscribers than you, and I'm playing the whole YouTube whore game until I vanquish you, and then I'll just cut you dead. Cut you dead, Jacob. I won't.
But see, that's the great thing is, since you came out here and you've been threatening the people, you and we've grown together. So you haven't like overstepped me yet. So until that, we can still get you here on United Spurs of America. So go subscribe if you haven't already, unless he's near or around my subscriber count. Then don't, because he'll stop coming on the channel.
Thumbs down. Run away, unsubscribe.
We got Undertaker.
Aren't you officially America's #1 Tottenham Hotspur fan channel, Jacob? You know, according to this.
Officially, but that's only because of all the beautiful people who've been liking and subscribing to the channel. Let me see. There has been 2 new people who subscribed to the channel since the duration of the show, so I want to say welcome to the 2 new folks as well. Welcome to the United Spurs of America family, where you will mostly get unbiased, but sometimes biased, and then you'll also get a lot of pasión. El pasión is what you'll get from me here. But big up indeed. I want to say big shout out, thank you to Moondog kicking off the super chat party here on United Spurs America. Ben Kaufman keeping the party going as well. And then, of course, Anthony, who did join us, hitting us with the $5 dono. Big up for that. And then Kate, with Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs, hit us with a super chat. And Ian Ferguson went ahead and grabbed the Lovers Lane membership. So big up Ian Ferguson for doing that. I appreciate that very much. But everyone going over to Hotspur Hippie, like and subscribe over there, because you know what?
But not too much.
But not too much. Yes, exactly. That's the key. Zapur says, "I'll unsub from Paul when he catches up to you, Jacob." There you go. That's the way to go. But until then, keep going. Jason says, "Are you counting Jacob TV subs in your race against Paul?" No, I'm not. That is a separate entity. And it's not a race against Paul.
The race, you cheat. What a cheat.
It's not a race against Paul. It's a race with Paul. We're running together to glory Tottenham Hotspur. So
guys, just keep in mind what I said. Paul was the first Tottenham supporter.
And you know, it's funny. Like I mentioned that in a video a while ago, and I had this troll commenting saying, "Oh, there's no video of you saying Ange Postecoglou back in March." Well, there is.
I heard it.
There you go.
Wasn't your channel created a couple months after that too?
Yeah.
Like your channel wasn't even created at the time in which you were saying that. You were going on everyone else's channel saying it.
Right, yeah.
And so it's like, of course, you can't go look at Hotspur Hippie and are you giving me thumbs up? Or are you out of here?
No. I was just thumbing up what you're saying.
Like sorry, I confused me. I was like,
dude, it was for me. It was literally a life changer. That's when it came on. He came onto my radar because of Paul. Period. I never would have heard of him. You know, period. End of story. And then I started doing a deep dive, and the more I saw, the more I liked, and the more I was like, wow, this guy's right. You know, I hope we get this.
Well,
guy.
You know it now. So. So if you'd have seen it 20 years ago, you would have been the same as me, man. You know, we just all walk different paths in life. That's what it is.
No,
but we all come to the same conclusion.
When the student is ready, the teacher shall appear. So
well, the way I see it is the train has left the station, but the links are long enough for Scott M. We're still letting the invitation's open for Scott M. You're still welcome. Big up Daniel Sandoval. Big up Lemmy as well. We are ending off the show, but big up everyone who has tapped in. And as I was thanking those 2 new subscribers who subscribed to the channel, 3 more subscribed. So there's 5 people now who subscribed to the channel during the show. And I want to say welcome to the family and thank you for helping the channel grow. It's absolutely free and y'all are killing it. So thank you so much for doing that as well. And then if you haven't already, gone on over to Hotspur Hippie and subscribe. It is absolutely free as well. You click that little Hotspur Hippie in the title, take you right on over there. I'm going to end the poll. 163 votes. 40% says looking forward already to Luton, and that's the mood tomorrow. But tonight, I'm still bathing in the tears of my enemies.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But guys, hope you know banana skins against Luton Town, because that would be pretty. You know what?
See, now we're having a great time, but then you got to go and do that. You want to do that right before I end off the show? Why you got to say that? Why you got to go and do that? We're having a good time.
Every got a cloud.
Yeah, I'm Tottenham. I have Stockholm syndrome. What can I say?
That's the thing. So I was in a group chat and someone said, y'all better not fucking drop points to Luton or else I'm on your ass, you know? And I was just like, you know what? That would be on brand, wouldn't it, for us to drop points versus a club that literally just got their first Premier League win this weekend. So
yeah, exactly.
That'd be funny. Yeah. I mean, but hey, that would just show you how funny of a beast this thing is. But the poll, I'm going to end it there. 163 votes, 142 likes. 21 people didn't want to grab free beer on their way in, and that's okay. I say it this way. You can live the life that you want to live. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just simply, suggesting it would be good for me and good for you. It's good for everybody to hit that like, hit that subscribe. And if you haven't already, share this channel, this video, next week's video, tomorrow's video, yesterday's video. Share it all with your mother, your brother, your cousin, your sister, your auntie, your uncle. They all want to watch United Spurs of America. So go ahead and get them on over here. I do want to say a big thank you to everyone who has tapped in during the live show. It's been pretty great to hit over 120 viewers on average while we go live, because doing that without a redirect means that there's a lot of United Spurs faithful out there wanting to support this channel. So that means a lot to me personally. And know that it does not go unnoticed. Everyone who's here every single day. Big up Bobby K as well. He's been a Patreon member now for almost 2 years. So big up Bobby K, always supporting the channel. Same thing with Scott M. I know everyone beefs with Scott M in the chat, and I know Scott M says everything that I disagree with. Not everything, but maybe 90 to 95, 96, 98% of what he says I disagree with. But Scott M is a longtime supporter of the channel, so it's always love here, and I hope everyone just keeps feeling the love. And don't worry, whenever Scott decides to get the bathing suit on, he'll jump on stream, and he will. I'll guarantee it. He'll jump on stream and he'll come apologize and talk to us all nicely. But big up everybody. Scott says, big up Jacob. Keep enjoying those supposed good times while you can. I fucking love Scott. These are the great times, my friend, and you can get on board. The train is left, but there's still room for you, buddy. And there's the link if you needed it even easier. There's a link for the Hotspur Hippie. Go subscribe. He's very close to 2K, so let's help him get there.
Just there, sitting there, waiting for 1 minute past 11 p.m. so he can call the police and say, "Oh, my neighbours are making too much noise."
I love it. Hey,
I love Scott.
Thank you for having me, and Paul, thank you for putting up with us, man.
Yeah, man. No, it was a good conversation until the very end there when you brought out the hoodoo. I didn't want to speak about the hoodoo just yet, but big up. It was a great discussion otherwise. If it wasn't a great discussion, I would have been like, Anthony, thank you so much for calling in today and sharing your thoughts. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And then I would have just done that. But I didn't. I kept you in the whole time because you know what? I resonate with a lot of things you're saying, and you have a good vibe about you, so I appreciate you calling in as well.
Thanks, brother. I just had to meet Paul in person. I had
to. Well, I'm fortunate enough. I have his phone number, and we text, and I can invite him on a show, so I'm fortunate enough. I can understand the desire to want to get in his face and say, "Paul, you motherfucker."
Every day I get text, "Paul, please, my channel's going down the pan. Can you come on and help me salvage it?" Every day.
The only reason we're growing is because of you, Paul. Get your ass over here. No, but in all seriousness, since you started working more, Paul, everyone has, and you've been less and less throughout the week on my daily shows. Everyone's been like, "Where's Paul? Where's Paul? Is he going to come back? Have you heard from Paul?" And like, just know you can find him at the Hotspur Hippie. He's in big demand, and right now the writer list is it's long, but it ain't too long yet. And once he hits 2K, I'm sure that writer list will double. The green room will be too small. He'll need a bigger dressing room before he joins the show. But that's what it's like in Hollywood.
I asked the clock tiers for this appearance, and you delivered. So thank you, Jacob.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Right.
And Postacoglu. Well, that's going to do it here for episode number 62 of the Untitled series here on United Spurs of America. If you haven't subscribed to the Hotspur Hippie, please do so right now. If you're listening to this live or on playback, know that I appreciate you very much. You are over 2 hours in, and you are rocking with it. You are hitting the like. You are supporting the channel in every manner in which you can. That is not financial. I appreciate that. And again, special shout out to those of you that did go above and beyond the call of booty and hit us with a super chat. Again, the call of booty is just hitting that like, participating in the chat, and hitting an option in the poll. It's interactive, it's free, it's something you can do, and it helps the show go very far. So appreciate to everyone who has done that. It's absolutely free, and like as Jamie Gibbs says, thumbs up on your way out, you moochers, you bunch of filthy animals. But I wouldn't have it any other way because y'all are locked in with United Spurs. But keep it here. I will be back tomorrow. Usual time, usual place, usual shenanigans. Who knows what news might pop, or maybe what shamelessness needs to happen. But either way, we will be here, and I hope you will too. But again, that's going to do it for us. So as always, stay fresh, stay blessed, up the lads, and come on, you Spurs. And what's that I see in the distance soaring in from Australia? Yes, I did fuck up the outro, y'all. I did fuck up the outro. I played the countdown, then I played the intro to a different show. But you know what? Of course.
United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.